required obligation every single time we appear on camera. The co-host, the co-founder, the co-pilot, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes in this very room is not in this very room at this point in time. He is on his way in, though. He will be here very shortly. That is, of course, the master of disaster, the king of steam, the Count of Monte Cristo, Thunderlips, the ultimate male, the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award. It will be Dave Stockbridge. Stockbridge, you will be seeing that man joining us here very shortly. He's on his way in. But it is lovely to see everyone in the chat already. I'm going to put my phone on silent so it doesn't ring halfway through. And we've got a couple of the fantastic regulars here in the chat already. Welcome to the AWE podcast. As I said before, this is Hollywood Matt Connelly. Let's bring up some of the lovely people that have already started writing comments in here, which is fantastic to see. We've got Captain Obvious, who said, powerful illustrations, break out the dried meat and hot sauce. It's the AWE. And I love how Restream, which is the platform that we are streaming on, gives us a nice little description of an emoji here, which cat orange whistling. Instead of bringing up the emoji, it does give a nice little description there, which is just always funny. We've got Couch Apple, who's taken off the moniker of Mr. Couch Apple. He's gone back to Couch Apple. What happened, Couch Apple? You've lost the Mister there. We had Mr. Couch Apple last week. Now he's gone back to Couch Apple. Sort of like Fox 8 Ball has been changing back and forth between Foxall, and then we just had 8 Ball, and he's switching up his names quite regularly. But we are seeing that with Couch Apple here today. He's not Mr. Couch Apple anymore. The Drew, hello to you, sir. We are ready, and we are ready to go. And here we are. We are here at the AWE podcast. Dave Stockbridge will be here shortly. He is on his way in. And yes, the Drew, a great little message I woke up to today, that you were enjoying your eggs with the hot sauce, the Bunsters shit the bed hot sauce, the 12 out of 10 rated, extremely hot. For me anyway, I'm not used to spice at all. And so that even having the bottle open in this room, it makes my eyes water incredibly strong. Although Dave does seem to enjoy taking a sip out of it every now and then. We've got who else we've got in here? The Drew is, there we go. We've got some icons that have come up there instead of the description. I would have preferred the description there. I would have liked to have seen what came up. We've got Peter. He says hi, hello to you, Peter. We've got a double biceps icon there, and there's one for you. Actually, it's a single biceps. I'll give you a single bicep just for that. And Cameron Greats, one of the guys from South Australia who is recently getting into arm wrestling. Hey man, going to see Ryan again this afternoon. Fantastic. So he's just gotten into the sport recently and has I think he lives in the country area of South Australia, so he was able to connect with a couple of the guys that are very, very strong pullers out in that region, and hopefully he will improve rapidly, training with the likes of Andrew Centofanti and Ryan McLaren, who he's referring to there. The Drew says AWE is evil and it has to be stopped. Absolutely. We are out to put on the best possible shows that we possibly can. And that may be seen as evil. So it's quite funny, really, because with the sport of arm wrestling, we've got some amazing people, and everyone that I've met in the sport has been absolutely fantastic. Wonderful people. You go to a different club, everyone there is welcoming. They're all friendly. Everyone wants to help each other. It's a fantastic experience to have that worldwide. It really feels like there's a real community sense that everybody is out to support each other. But then with the organization side of it, it feels like there's a lot more competition side of it, which is a bit strange, because it's almost like the exact opposite to the feeling that you get as an arm wrestler. Cat orange whistles, says Captain Obvious. Oh, cat orange whistles. That's great. Yeah, maybe if you wrote that, then it would bring up the icon. Is that what you were trying to do there? I see through your tricks. I'm getting a pop-up window here. There we go. Get rid of that. All right, we've got the Drew, who says that thank goodness we have our savior Egan to stop the mastermind Bowen from destroying the world of arm wrestling. It's the more damage than anybody else in history. Ryan Bowen apparently has caused. I don't know how he's caused it or what damage exactly he's done, but I know a ton of people that have got into the sport because of Ryan, seeing his content, and my experiences with Ryan Bowen have always been very, very positive. Even before I started doing the AWE or started doing the podcast or anything like that, Ryan was always helpful. I'd reached out to him a couple of times just to help me with some of my channel content, and he was more than happy to help and give advice and provide. He was giving me templates and all sorts of things, which it was just blown away, because at that point I don't think I'd met him in person, and it was just like, wow, this guy's awesome. Like, he's really helping me out here, and he doesn't even know me really. So wonderful guy, and I've always appreciated everything that he has done for the sport of arm wrestling. Great to be in business with him as well. All right, we've got Couch Apple here on Facebook. Well, you're hitting it from both angles here. You've got the YouTube side and the Facebook side going Couch Apple, but not Mr. Couch Apple. It is just Couch Apple. Good poster from AWE. It gives India versus Australia, country versus country vibes. That was a Ryan Bowen effort there, and absolutely we will be seeing many of the top Indian arm wrestlers coming over here to Adelaide, Australia on October the 22nd to take on some of our best, and it will be incredibly interesting. One fun fact that you might not know about is that India has the highest amount of people watching arm wrestling in the world, and they are number one by a massive margin. So it's India up here, and then number two, which I think is the US, is way down here, and then it's like 3, 4, 5. But the gap between India watching arm wrestling content worldwide is enormous. They have an amazing amount of people over there that are very, very interested in the sport. And we are very honored to have some of their best coming over here to compete on the AWE 3 card on October the 22nd. It's going to be incredibly exciting. We're going to see Ryan Blue Bowen. He's going to be taking on India's #1 arm wrestler, Mazahir Saidu. That's going to be an incredible match. We've got a whole bunch of amazing matches set up for that. I'll wait until Dave Stockbridge gets into the studio to go through the list of matches that we have, because we have announced the entire card at this point. We'll save that for when Mr. Stockbridge is here. All right, Jason Reeves, hello to you, sir. Does AWE plan on holding any of their comps in Brisbane? It seems to be a really good arm wrestling scene from around that area. Absolutely. Queensland has one of the strongest areas of arm wrestling in the country. I think they've got 5 different clubs in that state alone, whereas the majority of the rest of the states in Australia only have 1. There's 5 in Queensland, which is incredible. They have an amazing amount of top talent, and I'm not sure exactly what the reason for that is, but maybe we had a bunch of guys that sort of jumped into it earlier than the other parts of Australia, and they become friends, and it sort of spread from there. Maybe it got on board. People got on board with it a little bit faster in Queensland than they did in the rest of the country. But Queensland, New South Wales, they have an amazing amount of pullers. They've got big clubs. They've got amazing events and everything that happens with that. But yes, we were going to be holding AWE 3 in the Gold Coast. That was the original plan. Actually, it was AWE 2 even. We were going to be doing it there, but we had the opportunity to work with Diamondback Fighting Championship down here in Adelaide again, and sort of save ourselves a lot of money on the production costs, which is why we sort of jumped at that and brought that to Adelaide instead. But yes, absolutely, we would love to hold an event in Queensland. All right. The Drew says, yes, Bowen has helped many people around the world. I've been following him for years. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, I think I've told this story once before on the podcast, but when I was trying to sort out a template and I had no idea how to use Photoshop, and I'm still not very good with it, man, Photoshop. If anybody's had experiences with Photoshop, you have to bloody watch a tutorial every time you want to do anything. I just want to select that thing. I just want to select that, and it won't bloody select. Why won't it select? I don't know. There's a lot of frustration that comes with Photoshop. Ryan helped me out enormously. I think we've got the man himself has just arrived on the scene. He's walked in. Here he is. It's Mr. Stockbridge. He's going to get himself settled. He's put the hammer down. I don't know why you've got a hammer.
We've got new things to go on the walls.
Oh, great. Awesome. No worries. You've got your hat there, the AWE hat. Got the kids here that we've been talking to, and you just knocked the camera so that we're off frame now. Turn it back this way, otherwise we won't be able to see when you sit down. Yeah, that's getting better. You'll be sitting here.
Oh.
Tilt it up a little bit. Everyone's getting seasickness that's watching. Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, if you tilt the camera so it's a little bit straighter. There we go. That's better. Well, you sort of knocked it and then you made it worse. That's your went. That's great. That'll do. There we go. If anyone sees this mural of Dave in the background here, fantastic. Dave as a saint, a partisan saint, or a knight of the realm, a paladin. But welcome to the show. I did give you the intro, the co-founder, co-pilot, co-breather of air, co-wearer of clothes in this very room. But you weren't in this very room, but now you are.
No, I am. Now I'm a co-breather of air.
You are.
Wonderful. Oh, just getting in there. There we go. We're in the hot seat now.
There we go.
What a big week it's been in the world of arm wrestling. Hollywood Matt Connelly. Or is it now Bollywood Matt Connelly?
Well, I'm getting that from Paul Maiden. Which is great. I don't mind.
Finally a nickname that's been bestowed upon you that you haven't had to invent yourself.
That's right. It's only one letter different. It's incredible.
It's great. And I think it's very appropriate for what we've got coming up at AWE3.
Absolutely. We were talking about that a second ago with some of the fans who've jumped into the chat here. We've got some of the regulars, which is awesome to see. But we were talking about Brian Blue Bowen, who's going to be taking on India's #1 arm wrestler in Mazahir Saidu. And we've got some amazing matches between India and Australia. The Drew is a big fan of the poster that has popped up, which was showing that there is a lot of Australia versus India featured on this card. And we were explaining that India has an enormous audience that watches arm wrestling from around the world. They are the biggest viewership out of anybody in the world by an enormous margin.
By an enormous margin. I believe this weekend just gone, they had over 4 million viewers on Sony TV. And if you do pop onto the Pro Punja League Instagram page, you'll actually see a post of the hometown welcome that the winning team experienced. So there was literally a pageant that would have involved thousands of people there to congratulate the winners of the Pro Punja League.
Wow, that's incredible.
So talking about making a cultural difference, if in the world of arm wrestling, they're literally getting people to come out on the streets to celebrate arm wrestling and the athletes of the sport, which is just amazing.
That is incredible. And that just shows you the difference between when you've got 1.4 billion people, and even if it's 1% of the population that's into it, that is more than the rest of the world.
That's everybody.
Absolutely. But we've got Phil Woody, who's jumped in here. Says, morning, Matt. And he's got the bicep there. We'll have to give you a nice bicep pose. And we've got Kozak the Warrior. Well,
Kozak the Warrior, that's a new one.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen you before, Kozak, but welcome to the show. Unless maybe he's a regular in disguise.
It's just a new identity, perhaps. Kozak the Warrior.
That's right. It's probably Fox 8 Ball. This is Hollywood. The Couch Apple is bouncing back and forth between Facebook and YouTube. You can see which comment he's writing. He's dropped the Mister. He's dropped the Mr. Couch Apple. He's gone back to Couch Apple.
Well, thank you. I feel like we're friends, and I think that's appropriate. Yeah, the Mister, there was just that level of formality. I didn't know
that's
how
right.
to feel about that, but I like just Couch Apple. Makes me feel comfortable. And lately, I started following Pro Punja League, PPJ for those in the know. Well, it sucks that Raul Panica is injured as he tore his bicep. Yeah, it really is. I mean, best set of abs in arm wrestling was going to make his way over here, and I think he still might be here. So for fans of Raul Panica, he's still making his way over here. Is that correct?
I think he's looking at AWE 4. He's definitely said yes.
Okay. I thought he was just taking advantage of the free ticket anyway. He's coming over.
Well, no, we've got the guy that actually caused the injury as the replacement.
I knew we had him as a replacement. I thought Raul was coming along anyway.
Yeah, no, he's very disappointed he's going to miss out. But he will be. He said he's very, very keen to come on AWE 4. So
yeah, and it's really interesting just seeing how that happened. I mean, we've got a formidable competitor there. I mean, Raul was really struggling to get away from him, and I think injured his bicep in trying to slip, just didn't quite hit the transition, and something went pop. And but from what I understand, it's just level 1 tear. It's not so serious that it's going to keep him out for too long. So we wish Raul a quick recovery and return to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so he won't be out for too long, but unfortunately he will miss AWE 3, but he is very keen for AWE 4, and we are more than keen than having the man himself come over here. We've got Couch Apple says Josh Barker is on a defeat streak. Hope he will give a good fight. Yeah, well, he will be going against the man that caused the injury for old Panica. So it will be a great opportunity for Josh Barker to step up and have an incredible match and showcase his skill. Unfortunately, in the AWE2, coming off of surgery, like 3 days beforehand, bleeding all over the table, and he still won round.
Let's just keep in mind that Josh Barker took on Taron Broad. Taron Broad's next super match was with a top 10 super heavyweight in the country who also featured at AWE, won in
Adam
Laura. And so that was Taron's next bout after taking on Josh Barker. So and Josh wasn't embarrassed in that matchup.
No,
I think he got a pin or two as well. And Josh Barker literally is 70 kilos, in his clothes. So and then
what's he out of his clothes?
Is a little less. He tries. In talking to him, he tries to keep his clothes to less than 700 grams in total, including shoes. So you will see him occasionally not have any shoelaces, just to ensure that he keeps under that, because he does think of himself in terms of overall weight, including all clothing and apparel.
Do you think if he put his forearm in line with the scale, he would now be like 90 kilos?
It's possible,
because he holds it out that he can weigh a lot less.
So it's a trick. I think DC had a similar.
That's right.
Similar trick there.
That's how. My favorite moment of that is DC made the weight, and he's cheated. Obviously, he's put his length on the towel to get the last little 500 grams or whatever he needed, and then they've dropped the towel, and then his coach is giving him a big hug, and I'm like, he's naked right now. So Josh Barker, certainly couldn't be embarrassed, and then of course taking on New Zealander Thomas Fitzy at AWE2, a larger opponent by any measure, but also just having had surgery a few days before. So we haven't seen either Josh at his best or against an opponent of equal size and weight yet. And I think the world is going to be excited to see what happens when he does get that chance. Yeah, he's incredible. He's a phenomenal arm wrestler. And here he's here. He's actually in the chat. He says there's 4 clubs in New South Wales, and then Mario has corrected him to say there's 5 clubs.
There's 5 clubs.
And he's listed them off here. Savage Hitters, the Sydney Spartans, Newcastle, and Illawarra Arm Wrestling. Fantastic. Yeah, so it is growing. You can see that these clubs are popping up all around the country, which is incredible to see. We've got 5 in Queensland, and according to Mario, there's also 5 in New South Wales, which is outstanding. So
it's terrific.
Yeah, it's definitely a growing sport, which is wonderful to see. Dominic Lawrence, who's jumped in here on Facebook, he says evening all. And I say evening to you, Dominic. Hello, welcome to the show. You get to see both of us here. Everyone else was Bill. Where's Dave gone? Oh, he's on his way. Unfortunately, there is another element where we have to earn money to live. Mario, has he got a match? Mario will be in the wings for AWE 4, so we will get those things happening for Mario.
We're running out of people good enough for Mario. That's
that's right. You want somebody to be able to step up to Mario's level, and it's like we could just have put him on against somebody, but it's like we'd rather save him for the opportunity to face somebody at the top level competition. And we'd already filled the card with 10 matches. It was like I think AWE 4 will be a time for Mario to have his ability to showcase his skills to the world. Josh Barker, how's you? Oh, we're doing as the stitches healed up. You warrior, you. He was indeed a warrior, and still got pins on Thomas Fitzy at AWE 2. Jason Reeves says, I just did the Queensland State Comp. There was 120 competitors. I got to test myself against Rickard on left. He flattened me. Yes, well, he did fantastically. I think he came second on left overall in the heavyweight division, which is absolutely outstanding. Somebody who's been in the sport for like 6 months.
Yeah, crazy.
At 20 years old,
Yeah.
115 kilos or something.
Very talented young man.
What is it, 115, 120?
123, I think, thereabouts. Yeah.
Jeez.
Big young man.
Absolutely. And he did phenomenally well in that. And again, I mean, this is somebody who's come into the sport from a rugby background and has only had 6 months in. And there's so much to know with arm wrestling, especially setups and nuances. And in a tournament of that level with that many competitors, where you're going at so many different styles, and to come second on left, and I think he came second on right to Mario, which is just absolutely outstanding. Just incredible effort.
Incredible young man.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure, and well done to Mario and to Bowen Cortado as well.
Just going around state by state, just picking up, picking up medals.
So you got a trophy? Yeah, there. Just bring it over here.
Yeah.
Still a bit on low on side, slight inflammation, but almost fully recovered. Thank you heaps for asking. Absolutely, we're looking forward to seeing Josh Barker at his top form. And Mario says 100 entries, Jason.
Mario's more like a fact checker.
Yeah, exactly 100. And
Mario's counting them.
The first time we've cracked triple-digit entry numbers, which is
amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It shows you how much the sport is growing, and it is fantastic to see that. Phil Woody says Stockbridge going with the fashionably late. That's right. And he's got with the hat, he's got the business shirt and the bicep. We'll have to see it. There it is. The big arm, the bigger arm than my arm. The sleeve. Have a look. Just again, have a look at the sleeve here, hanging on for dear life when you do that. It's about to go. You gotta be careful about your movements throughout the day.
Yeah, it's stretchy.
You can't reach for things. You know, it's very restricted.
Can't drive.
You can't drive. You have to have the steering wheel like right here. I can't move my shirt will rip off. It's these things that you don't realize, the sacrifices that Dave Stockbridge has to make for you, for your entertainment. CB Rogan, would you ever think of doing an event in Ramsey Street in Melbourne? No.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's a novelty venue, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, it's funny.
Only if it was at Toadie's house.
Toadie. Is he still on the show? Oh, no, they've ended it, haven't they?
Well, they ended it, and then they were going to bring it back, I understand.
Yeah.
So, and Toadie was in for it, because I don't think much happened for Toadie.
I don't think he's got anything else going on.
No, I think that's it. So,
it'll always be Toadie.
Yeah, if we could tee it up at Toadie's, I think we'd be completely in.
Yeah, if someone knows Toadie, just let him know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming over.
Yeah.
We're bringing the arm wrestling.
I'd imagine he actually lives there.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, the people that do live there, because it's a street. Like,
it is actually
it's
a street.
not a set.
Yeah.
It's actually people's houses.
Yeah.
They always get annoyed because everyone goes there and takes photos and stuff. And it's like, you know, it's a show. This is where I live.
Yeah.
Get out the way. Ramsey Street, yes, that's the Neighbours show, which is a
oh
show
yeah,
that ran
Americans
for
are
about
wondering what the
30
hell we're
years.
talking about. There you go,
30-year show or something.
like a days of our lives, but it was in the evening time when it was.
Did you ever used to watch it?
Show is no.
I watched for a little while, maybe 6 months at one point in that 30 years.
I think I waited for Channel 10 to take it off TV, so The Simpsons run it.
Oh yeah. That was always good. Yeah, you had to wait for the last. 6:30 was Neighbours, 7 o'clock was Simpsons. You're like, come on, last 10 minutes of Neighbours, just get to the Simpsons.
Just getting Toadie being moody about something for 3 minutes before the Simpsons
started. He became a lawyer.
Yeah, he did.
Started off as a dumbass, and ended up as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Mario Marcus says, Phil confirmed it was the first time that they had over 100 competitors. Fantastic effort there.
Fantastic.
And Phil Woody has given Gods a plug here, which is fantastic to see. Paul Maiden and Marcus Thompson doing incredible work with Arm Gods, and check out some of Paul Maiden's poems that he's been doing recently. There's some he's very talented, actually.
He is actually, yeah.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah. So and also coming up with some excellent conspiracy theories with respect to what's going on in the world of arm wrestling right now. So certainly have a look, check out his videos. He's definitely got some alternative points of view.
I think the reason you were late today was Neil Pickup. Was that correct?
Yeah, you didn't pick me up.
No, I didn't. Okay. Neil not pick up. Okay. Gosh, what baffles me is the acrylic background portrait of Dave Stockbridge. That's right, the saint or medieval
that's
warrior.
not acrylic.
No, it's a real painting.
It's actual paint.
It's not paint by numbers either. Do you want to tell the story about that painting? Because it is a featured piece in the background there.
Oh, well, it's certainly a conversation piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, when people enter the room, and I'd hate for the people to think that my ego was so big that I would literally get a painting of myself like that and put it on the wall. But yes, I am.
Wasn't it that your wife was like, "That's not going up"?
It's not going in the house. Yeah, so it was a charity auction. So I'm a charity auctioneer as well. Well, I'm an auctioneer, and I happen to do a charity auction. And the particular item behind you, without my face on it necessarily, but a portrait of someone has a value of about $4,000, according to the artist. So
it's more now because your face is on.
Well, we've done something about that, haven't we? So we maybe devalued it, but we got $4,000. $4,000. We're doing a charity auction, and the prize was a painting to the value of $4,000, and you can choose whatever you want to go on that painting. You can have. So knowing that the reserve was $4,000, and knowing that there wasn't a lot of interest for the particular item, I've made a few vendor bids. So just keep the bidding moving forward. So ladies and gentlemen, start me away. Maybe $500, $1,000. We've got $1,500 over here, $1,600 with you, madam. There's not really anybody bidding. I'm just kind of calling these numbers. There's a lady there who invited the artist that obviously felt a little bit bad that nobody was bidding. She threw her hand up a couple of times. I was encouraging her back in, just so there was a bit of back and forth. So it wasn't entirely embarrassing for the artist. And then we're going to close it out nicely around $1,500 thereabouts. And anyway, so we call it out. We're at $1,500 or $1,800. It might have been actually. First call, second call, over $2,000 under the reserve, feeling pretty safe about it. Third and final call, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there's no interest further beyond this point. We're going to negotiate on that particular item, and then the artist comes over and taps me on the shoulder and says, "It's okay, Dave. You can sell it for $1,800.
You're like, I don't want to.
If it's for me, I don't want it.
It's me.
It's me. So I went back out and made an extra special effort to try and sell it one more time.
Somebody.
And no one was interested. And so a third and final call, it ended up with me. And the artist had come to visit me on a couple of occasions, and I was a bit busy. And I said, "Oh, you just do whatever you want to do." And she went, "Oh, I like doing iconography." And I went, "Oh, that sounds great." And about 8 weeks later, that turned up.
What did you say when you unwrapped it?
Well, wow. I mean, what do you say? I mean, when somebody's made you into a saint, what do you say? I mean, it's like, that's. I mean, it's kind of a little bit overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, wow, that's what I would look like if I was somebody who was venerated and respected, and 500 years ago, 1,500 years ago, maybe. This is quite amazing. And so I graciously accepted it and took it home. And my wife said, "That's great, but you're never hanging that in this house ever." So it hangs behind us here as just a gentle reminder not to stick up your hand at charity auctions.
That's right.
In future. So there's a little lesson there for young players.
Did you make that noise when you unwrapped it of, oh?
I don't even know if I got that far, but it was more like the eyebrows went, "Oh, wow. It's amazing.
Look at that. Look at it. That's everyone. Have you seen this?
I mean, business suit, maybe, an AWE shirt, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
But it is classic.
She could have done like Arnie's body, and my head or something. But no, that's it. Yeah.
Do you think she already had the rest of it painted, but just not the face?
Maybe she was already working on something. Went, "Oh, you know what?
Let me just paint the face in there, and then
I'm giving this away for charity." So
yeah. So good, so good.
Like, get rid of Saint Dominic and put Dave's head on there instead.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, but everyone that comes into this room, into the studio, that's the first thing that they talk about. Look at that thing.
That's what they're confronted by.
Yeah, that's right. That's great. Jason Reeves says, "You guys are on another level. It's insane."
It is.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what he means, but I'm hoping that he's saying about how hilarious, how charismatic, how good we are at painting. Yes, I'll accept it. Josh Barker, I had 47 in my class alone at Over the Top. Yeah, well, there you go. Josh Barker competing in the Over the Top tournament, which was held in the Gold Coast last year, February, I believe. And the Drew says Engen trying to be the biggest organization, and Pro Panja League is larger than all the other organizations combined. Absolutely, they are phenomenal. stuff that's coming out of India there with Pro Panja.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, so a lot of talk about the Engen and the core sports and what the machinations there are, and the contracts that have been floating out there. So I'm sure we'll get more onto that topic and more as we work through our podcast.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Josh Barker says that I would have probably still pulled with the torn bicep because I'm dumb. Well, there you go.
Well, I don't know about dumb.
No, not at all. No, probably because you can press with your tricep.
Yeah, so it would have been a calculated risk.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's different if you're a top roller.
Yeah.
We got here. Phil Woody gives a thumbs up. Thank you very much, Phil Woody.
Thumbs up to you, good sir.
And Catch Apple, AWE team, do you have plans for a weigh-in and face-off for the athletes in the next event? In my honest opinion, it will create more spotlight. We have actually done that every time so far. We don't have weigh-ins specifically because we don't have a weight restriction on the athletes, but we do face-offs, and we did record the referee
we did
instructions.
record some of it. Yeah. So I mean, we've got a few of these things to work through, Couch Apple, in terms of how we do this next time. So we've got the venue. We've got access to our venue for a longer period of time, so we can do more on the site. So stay tuned for more announcements. Also, in terms of the coverage, we're much more in control this time. So you'll get more coverage over all of those events, and you'll also get more of the background behind the scenes and all of that type of stuff. So there's going to be plenty of auxiliary content pertaining to AWE3 that if you're an arm wrestling fan and you want to know all the behind the scenes stuff, well, you're going to get every opportunity to wrap your mind around it at AWE3.
That's right. I was just picturing who I had to pick up from the airport and whether my car would be able to handle it or not. It barely held on last time for everyone from Brisbane that came down. Josh, not the smartest, but we still love him, Barker. There we go. And Josh Barker, how have you been? Drew, he's doing well, I believe, over in Vegas.
Very, very well.
He's getting his backyard ready to host AWE4. Actually, the Drew sent me a photo this morning of his breakfast that he was getting ready, and I think it was 12 deviled eggs, but he was putting the Bunsters sit the bed hot sauce on there.
Fantastic. Well, very interested. Maybe I'd like to see a bit of a review from the Drew. And interestingly enough, the man behind Bunsters, Andrew Bunster,
That's
his
incredible.
Andrew as well.
His name, what a coincidence.
I know. Are you one and the same people? Maybe you are. I don't know. But if you, I know Andrew would love a review. So if you were to record a little review next time you splash it on the deviled eggs, then I know that Andrew and the team there at Munsters would absolutely love that.
Have you had it with anything, like with food? Or I know I've seen you drink it out the bottle a lot.
No, I just use it as for shots mostly. I've when I've had it with steak.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice with steak. Yeah, it's been good.
That's a good move. Yeah, Josh Barker says, how's the website going? He's on the pinnacle of being ready.
It's almost there.
Last week, but
we're so close, Josh. We can't wait because with the website comes a whole lot of announcements, a whole slew of information will be coming your way with respect to how you can order the pay-per-view, how you can get your hands on tickets, of course, the merch store and more. So certainly you might even see a nice little photo of yourself on the website there, Josh. So
what have you done your stats, Josh? The press, I think I gave you a 9 out of 10 for your press.
9 out of 10, very impressive. Very impressive.
Brandon is definitely a handful.
Okay, good.
Oh, Brandon Allen, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
The Drew was talking about how he's training with Brandon Allen. There you go. What have we got here? We've got Mario says, I'll still be at AWE4 showing my support to my boys. All right. Well, brilliant. We'd love to see you if you want to come down for AWE3 as well. Maybe that's what he meant.
maybe, if he's coming for AWE3, that'd be awesome. There's obviously going to be a couple of opportunities there for somebody like Mario, for instance. Now, Mario could just turn up. Hypothetically, Mario could just turn up and enter the tournament.
He could enter
and
the
get
tournament.
on the car.
Absolutely. He probably would.
He would win it. He would be the guy. So
there
you
go,
could
Mario.
end up, entering the tournament. Now, the prize for winning the tournament, of course, is that although you've gone through that whole tournament, you get onto the main card. for AWE 3.
Yeah.
So the tournament will be held in the morning, and then of course AWE 3 starting there almost straight afterwards. So there you have it, guys. So you'll have the chance, and of course you could be unfortunate enough to be facing off against Mario in the final. Of course, if Mario does just turn up, one would suspect he'd pretty much be the favourite for that particular tournament. But of course, there are more opportunities for you to win at AWE 3. So we've got last man standing.
Yep.
So maybe explain to the world a little bit about the last man standing.
I love the last man standing. I absolutely love it.
It's another opportunity to lose to Mario, isn't it? Essentially, for everybody.
But
creating.
You could beat Mario in the last man standing.
Whoa, I mean, it's theoretically it's possible.
Yeah.
For anybody to beat Mario,
anybody in last man standing.
Yeah, it can go either way.
That's right. Well, so last man standing is a 1 hour event, and it's basically a winner stays on. So you start with 2 people. Whoever wins, they stay on the table. Next person, whoever wins, they stay on the table. Next person, and you just cycle through. And it is fast paced. It is lightning quick, and it is the setups are pretty much put your hands together, go. And if you foul, you lose.
Yeah.
If you slip, we stop the timer. You've got the strap. Start the timer when you say go again, so you don't get
in a losing
advantage.
Position though.
Slipping in a losing position is a loss.
Gone.
That's right. You're out.
You're out.
And so it's somebody who may be very strong. Say Mario starts off in that king position and that winning position, he might win 30 or 40 matches in a row. He's going to get tired though, because people are just going to be cycling through. And how many times can you?
So Mario might get tired at say the 52-minute mark, and be in that king position, be at the number 1 position for all of that time. Lose at the last minute, but Mario would still be the winner because he spent the most time on the table.
Yeah, there's two prizes.
There's 2 prizes.
Yeah. So one is whoever is in the winning position on the 60-minute mark. So we'll have the timer that'll be counting down. I'll be giving the warning, 30 seconds left, 15, 10, the countdown. And whoever is in the winning position at the buzzer will be the winner of one of the prizes, and the other prize is whoever holds the winning position the longest amount of time throughout that hour. So if you do hold it for 50 minutes or something, then yes, you won't walk away empty-handed. You will get something as well.
And prizes will be announced very, very soon. We're speaking to our sponsors now, so we're trying to juice that prize up for you guys.
Could win.
So could win. He could just be thrown in. My wife is just quite happy for you to take it with you.
That's all right. You keep it.
Put in the studio.
I've already got one.
So very exciting news there. So there's so if you're an arm wrestler and you're just looking for some fun, you want to head on down to AWE 3 because you got the tournament, and it's an open weight tournament. Yep. Awesome. And so everybody's losing Mario if Mario turns up. And then you've got the last man standing there after AWE, the main card of AWE 3, which and at AWE 3 we've got 10. Is it 11 now? 10 or 11?
10 matches.
10 matches, all locked in, all ready to go.
Absolutely, yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. And I didn't think about that. If Mario came down, he probably will end up on the card.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Mario. If you're keen to get on the card, that's...
no, I won't. Oh, maybe just a little, and then it's all over for everybody.
Maybe I'll just, I might as well. I mean,
Walk away with the chocolates.
That's right. The Druces is pretty good to see him pull with Larry Wheels again a few days ago. I'm guessing that's Brandon Allen, but we did. Mario actually took on Larry Wheels and beat him in the over the top tournament, which was I think the first loss that Larry had, which was a double elimination loss.
We've had Mario on the podcast bragging about that actually.
Well, good. That's something to brag about.
It's definitely something to brag about. You beat the cartoon character there. That's a man that shouldn't be alive. Those proportions are ridiculous.
He is enormous. And he was crushing everyone leading up to it. But I think there was a lot of hesitation, like, oh man, I just hope that he makes the top 8, because that's where, like, the event has all based around this top 8 sort of thing. And if Larry doesn't make it there, and then Mario's beaten him once already. Come on, Larry, we gotta just don't lose to some random dude we've never heard of. But yes, so Mario pinned him once, and then Ryan Bowen pinned him the second time to eliminate him from the tournament.
Rickett Borman versus Larry Wheels.
Ooh, that's something I'd love to see, actually.
Ooh, we'll never see it, of course, but there you go.
We could see that. Let's talk to Larry.
Is Larry under contract?
Hello, Larry.
No, he's not. Does anybody know?
I don't know. Well, I mean, he's
been recovering because he's not been well.
Has he?
a
Oh,
couple
that's
weeks ago.
right. Yeah, he got
He was in hospital. So
muscle disease or something.
is it really?
Yeah.
It was a diagnosis I didn't understand, but he looked quite poorly in the photo, and I felt for him. But yeah, I hope he comes back stronger and better than ever. But
I'm sure he will. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, fantastic athlete and incredible guy. Very nice, very humble.
Super Mario indeed.
Super Mario. Josh Barkas is Rikard and Hamza, bright futures. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, so Hamza will be featuring on the card as well against Yuvraj Sharma, who is one of the top juniors over in. Oh, you're laughing at this, but I haven't read it yet. The Troll Master. He's gone with full capitals here, and he's starting it off with an exclamation mark.
Warning.
Yes, Ryan, make peace with Engen. That's your only chance to get back. Eat your pride and ego. You Habe know where to go now. We can all sense it. Another exclamation mark and another one at the end. Is full of exclamations and powerful statement here from the Troll Master. But everything's going great with us with AWE. We are very happy here. So when it says you have nowhere to go, well, we sort of do. We've got the AWE.
We got
three
hats.
events.
We got hats.
We
We
got
got
hats,
t-shirts.
we got
We
shirts.
got a free painting. You can take it home with you. So
Shirts
what else does Ryan need?
Yeah, when you press this button, this thing seems to happen.
There you go.
It's a feature of the shirt.
Yep.
You
Don't
press
get
it there.
that. Don't get that East versus West.
That's
I can tell
right.
you.
That's right.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh yes, and he has corrected himself. AWE3. Yeah, we'd love to see you down here, Mario.
Oh, he's coming for AW3. Oh, awesome. This is going to be great news. Except unless you were planning on competing in the tournament, which goes terrible for everybody.
Terrible for everyone else. Great for us.
Great for us. We get to see Mario, so we were always happy about that.
That's right.
Yeah.
French McGee says, I'm hoping it gets much more popular with women in South Australia.
We
Absolutely.
are too. Well,
Yes.
we've had some of our friends in India reach out to us seeking a female opponent for a couple of the ladies over there that are doing great things. Sourcing up and coming emerging female talent in Australia is something we would love to do.
Absolutely.
Anywhere around the world, we can get some girls on the table would be absolutely fantastic. So maybe France, you're that lady.
It could be, yeah. France is very strong in the wrists, and she's been doing phenomenally well. Once she sort of gets more of the foundation of techniques and everything over the next few months and gets a style. I think she's still working on which style she's, sort of leaning
She's
towards.
like the most stylish person at the club.
Did you see the video where she beat the waiter at the we went out?
I did see that. And it's at that moment that you realize that the bug has definitely got French now. Like, she's like 2 months in and that's it. There's no going back now.
That's right.
You're an arm wrestler, France. You can give everything else up in life.
Get lots of ice gel because you're going to need it. Mario says, hey, the Drew, and the Troll Master has repeated that same. He's copied and pasted.
Did we not acknowledge?
We've already
said
this, Troll Master. You've
Well,
said it twice.
let's get into this. Ryan, make peace with Engen. Let's say that there is a dispute. What could Ryan possibly do to appease Engen more than already what he's done? And then let's also look at perhaps the actions of Engen over recent times, and then just kind of weigh that off and say, well, who's the protagonist here? Who's on the receiving end of all of this? What's Ryan actually been putting out there to encourage more of this vitriol? I think you'll find that Ryan's tried, he's extended the olive branch on more than one occasion now. We've sought to negotiate when it comes to athletes that had been scheduled to appear on AWE that aren't able to now, or who are now, I guess their appearances in future are now very much in question. And so when we've had some people that are slated to appear on our card, and Engen's also wanted to secure that talent, we've sought to, in a gentlemanly way, reach out to see if there's any compromise. There isn't any compromise there. So, and we're not in a position to really negotiate anything. If people want to sign up with Engen, they know exactly what they're getting. They're getting a very, very volatile man, and they're getting a contract for 3 years. And so ultimately, that's 3 years you're locked up. So you know, that's what they're getting, and that's what they want. That's fine. So we're hoping to provide a platform for athletes that don't want to be pressured by WAF, who don't want to be, I guess, bullied by other people into agreements they don't feel entirely comfortable with. We want to provide a platform into the future for arm wrestlers who want to grow, build their profile, and ultimately become masters of their own destiny in the sport of arm wrestling.
Masters of their own domain.
Yeah, as well.
As well.
So I don't know if there's any ego or pride to be eaten. I think Ryan's been quite forthright and genuine in reaching out to Engen, but
Didn't hear anything back at all. No response.
So Trollmaster's had his piece there. I think he just wants to see peace in the world, and it's a little bit disturbing to the Trollmaster that all things aren't well in the world of arm wrestling. He's the ultimate peace broker. He is. Peace can be achieved through capital letters.
It is, and as many exclamation points as you can make. Whenever I am facing difficulty between two parties, I do consult the Trollmaster for his advice, because he is the man to go to.
Seems to be a good mediator.
Definitely, even tempered, considerate.
That weighs things up in a really objective manner. That's right. The Drew just need AWE 4 to be in Las Vegas. It's at your place. I think we've already got that booked for February. So once we've been at Ramsey Street, we'll have a little event there, and then we'll make our way around to your place, Drew. So perfect weather. Looking forward to it. February should be good. Nice and warm in Vegas.
That's right. Yeah, Vegas is amazing. I've only been there for 3 days. I so wanted to, and I know I'm talking to the Drew. Like, he's like, you didn't even see anything. I didn't see anything. I saw like 2 casinos, 3 casinos, or something. You need a month there to scratch the surface.
Trollmaster Ryan has tried. Yeah, it's just true. Try to talk to Engen. Engen wants nothing to do with it. He needs to swallow his pride and just do what's best for arm wrestling in the sport. There's a lot to be said. There's a lot being said. There's a lot being done in the name of arm wrestling, in the name of the sport, in the name, as though that person saying those things is that one and the same thing. Like if you do something good for the sport, you're doing something good for that person as well, and vice versa. It's a bit of a strange thing, but nonetheless, yeah, I think Ryan's reached out, and Engen, the olive branch is there. Grab it. Just grab it. That's all you got to do.
That's right. Well, Mario.
Now, if you believe Paul Maiden, on the other hand, it's not Engen at all.
No.
So this is none of what Engen says or does. None of it is of Engen's making, thinking. Engen does, as a matter of fact, does not even want to do it. He's doing it at the behest of Neil Pickup. Neil Pickup is the ultimate puppet master.
He's the puppet master.
He's the puppet master, and he's pulling all the moves,
pulling the strings.
He's pulling the strings, and so what we've got here is Neil Pickup is the person that you really want to be directing everything to.
All your capital letters.
Yeah, all your capital letters and exclamation marks need to be going to Neil Pickup. So if you were to believe Paul Maiden now, I think Paul Maiden is very fair-minded when it comes to Neil Pickup. I think it's very objective, and I think he's standing enough away from Neil to be able to see these things in a really even and balanced way. And definitely no baggage there from previous arrangements or partnerships or collaborations. None. But so that's an interesting conspiracy theory. Tell us what's been the most interesting conspiracy theory you've heard about things recently. What's in the contracts? What's going on? Any of that type of stuff? Some of the motivation there. Like I say, Paul Maiden says it's Neil 100%. Neil is behind it all. Engen doesn't even want to behave like
he didn't want to give out contracts.
He didn't want to do any of it. He didn't even want to do East versus West. Neil made him, because he wants a commentary gig.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's
and only wants the crumbs so he can run his event on the side.
It's all becoming clear now.
Yeah, so it's
if you piece it all leads back.
So Paul's got some interesting theories on it. If you've got any of your own, please share them in the comments. We'd love to hear it, especially from the Trollmaster. Love to hear your thoughts on it.
My favorite conspiracy theory is that all of this is being manufactured between Ryan and Engen
so they can have a super match.
I hope so. To sell the world's biggest arm wrestling match ever in Las Vegas on the top of a casino somewhere.
I heard somebody's been just between you and me. Somebody's been making some phone calls to the people at Madison Square Gardens just to see. There's a couple of dates that have been talked about. I've just heard in the whispers of the halls that Engen. Have you heard of this Engen Jersey? What about Ryan Bowen? Apparently, they want the place. New Year's Eve. Yes. New Year's Eve, Madison Square Gardens, Engen Jersey versus Ryan Bowen. You've heard it here on the AWE podcast. First and foremost, this won't be an East versus West because it won't be held under any kind of WAF because it will be test. Yeah. So there won't be. So this is just going to be an AWE event at Madison Square Gardens. Engen Jersey, Ryan Bowen. Main event, no undercard. No undercard.
Not needed.
No, it's not required. We'll sell out 100,000. We don't need an undercard for this one. So
that's right. Laughing all the way to the bank as well, and we'll walk away, and people will have seen they've chosen their side, and they get to see the two giants collide, and they're not realizing it was all orchestrated. Yeah, it was all a plan the whole time.
Yes.
We'll start with contracts. You get upset about that. We'll
do that. We'll try and shut you guys down and make sure that none of our athletes ever go on your card ever again.
That's right. Yeah.
Then we'll call the high five guys. We'll get WAF to call Gabby and get them to cancel over there. And
it's very well orchestrated.
Oh man, it's a lot of work to go into. When Engen could have just said yes to Ryan's invitation to have a match after AWET, but no, I like the build up. It's 4D chess.
That's right.
This is why Engen and Ryan are thought to be geniuses. You know, in the arm wrestling world, in the arm wrestling space, just master marketers. So yeah, Madison Square Gardens, New Year's Eve,
book your
and
tickets
straight afterwards. Straight afterwards will be Nickelback.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're
just
back.
to carry everybody.
Tour.
Yeah, carry through New Year's.
I like Nickelback.
Yeah. So big night, book it in.
That's right. It's going to be a big night, absolutely. The winners will be Engen and Ryan. So I see we will talk to Engen.
Well, I mean, you can talk to Engen, but from what I understand, he's right across all of this stuff.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. He's in the know. He says we will talk to Engen. So there's
there's
several troll masters there.
I didn't know it was a troll master army there. Obviously, well,
it is.
Very interesting. I now think about the troll master in a different way.
Yeah, it's a collective.
Yeah, who's the troll control? Who's the troll control master?
Who controls the troll?
Is that Neil Pickup?
It could be. Maybe it is Neil.
Now it all makes sense.
Paul Main's like, it's Neil.
I knew it.
I knew it.
That's great. Have a poem coming out about that very, very soon. So
Jason Reeves is over the top happening this year. I don't believe so. I think it was a one-off event.
Not sure.
Yeah, I think it was a one-off thing.
It's got nothing to do with us.
The Troll Master, me and the Troll Army, all the Troll Army will set our eyes to Engen. There's an army now. It's growing by the second. Every post it gets bigger.
See, I started off and I thought the Troll Master was anti-Ryan, but now it looks like he's pro-Ryan, anti-Eng. I think he might just be anti-everybody.
We might have changed his mind, his opinion.
Oh, well, it's nice to see that the Troll Master's open-minded, receptive.
He is, and he's got an army behind him.
That's even better.
That's even better.
It's great when you can direct an army in your favor, isn't it? That's very good.
Powerful
We'd love to see the army there at Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah, that's right. The Druces, Bowen, Engen, and Neil all made mistakes. Ego and pride can stop a person from making amends. And guess what? I still support them all and call them all out on their wrongs.
No.
We are human.
We are human. Very wise words.
Wise words from the Drew.
Always the voice of reason, arm wrestling reason in the tsunami and the shitstorm of what might be going on in the arm wrestling world right now. There's always that even keel,
of the
barometer, the man,
the measuring stick,
the leveler.
That could be your new nickname, Drew. Kyle Davison, pickup game, not strong. Kyle I trained with in the gym the night before, and unfortunately he when he went to put his dumbbells down, there was already a set of dumbbells on the ground, and he's crushed his finger between two dumbbells, which ended the workout right there.
But, you know what they're called, dumbbells.
Yes, I hope that it is recovering well. I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
I hope this Sunday. Well, if you can't, then you can do left arm on Sunday.
Yes, it's true. God bless you with 2 arms. Use them.
That's right. Phil Woody says, I thought it was Vigo from Ghostbusters 2. Don't stare into its eyes. Absolutely. Yes. Vigo, the villain of that movie. And what we've got here, Kyle Davison says, you say Neil boy, I am Kratos, god of war. There he is. The shirt is just hanging on. It almost popped just then. It's a cool painting. This is how far back we are from the comments here.
Oh my God, we're still on the painting. Shit the bed, hot sauce. What's going on?
Here we go. We've got Bowen Contrado.
Bowen, the Axeman, Bowen Contrado.
Yeah, absolutely. So he took first place on Left Eye Opens on the weekends. Left is the money. You did a phenomenal job on the weekend, and the way that you won that final, it was Bowen Contrado versus Richard Borman in the final for left arm, and Bowen on the go, he caught Richard and he looked at him, and it was like, is that all you've got? Like it was a very much a, well, I'm just going to win whenever I want. So you ready? Here it goes. And man, he was so dominant. What a phenomenal performance by Bowen there, and did very well on right arm as well. I think he got third or fourth.
And Bowen, are you still training with the axe at the moment? Are you still doing the wood chopping whilst you're training for arm wrestling? Or have you given that away, given that a rest whilst you're getting your arm wrestling conditioning up? And what does your preparation look like in the lead up to AWE3 in terms of how much you're on the axe as opposed to on the table?
Absolutely, yeah, that's right. The Drew says the shit the bed hot sauce has heat and flavor. It's amazing, but I have to have it with certain things, or it's too much heat for me. Yes, that's right. Yes, it's definitely too hot for me. Even opening the bottle near me is enough to make my eyes water. And we've got the man himself, the man of the hour, Paul Maiden, has jumped in. And he said, Dave, why do you hate Engans so much?
There's no hate. As you rightly pointing out, I don't even know the man. He doesn't even know I exist.
Never spoken to him. No.
He doesn't even know I exist. So
whenever I think of my mental image of Engen, it comes up as Igor Mazarenko. I can't, because
you've reckoned you've just
combined them.
Yeah, you've conflated the two personalities.
I keep forgetting what Engen looks like.
Yeah. Well, it's Paul. No, there's no hate. No hate at this end. We don't hate. It's just a little bit. It's just it's not. Let's face it. It's not what Engen's been doing over recent times to some of these smaller promotions. Aren't what you do to friends. You know, we're not friends, but it's not a friendly. It's not a friendly thing. And of course, we're starting to see, some money pouring into the sport, and with that, power grabs, and people got to kind of make their own path and kind of work things out. And Engen's just mucking around trying to do that in the best way possible for him and the people around him, I'm sure. So
whatever Neil Pickup tells him,
whatever.
Paul Maiden says, Bollywood, are you stealing our ideas like you did my ancestors' wallets?
No!
Whoa, it's a low blow there, Paul. Check out Paul Maiden, Arm God, Marcus Thompson. They are doing phenomenal stuff there.
They've got a whole new YouTube page, so wipe the old page. And they've been uploading new content. And if you head over there almost on a daily basis, you're going to get a beautiful rendition from Paul, who's a very talented wordsmith, and always give me little insights into the world of arm wrestling from his perspective in rhyme. As far as I know, only man in arm wrestling doing that as well. So it's really cool. A very, very talented, very, very, I was going to say young man, but a very, very talented man.
Yeah. Well, fair
I didn't want to be condescending,
No,
like when Neil Pickup said, I really tried.
You did really try.
I really tried. Not successfully, but really tried.
Yeah, I appreciate that he tried.
Yeah. So definitely check out the new channel, and if you subscribe to the last one and you think you're subscribed but you're not quite sure, head over there, double check, and of course hit the notification bell and make sure that you're getting these poems.
Did you like my poem? Roses are red, violets are blue. This poem makes no sense. Microwave.
That's my type of humor.
I just picture you when you read that.
I mean, just imagining the moment I first saw that.
Because Paul had
Because
done
Paul's
this.
got this fucking fantastic, this amazing work of art, and you're in awe of it. And then Matt's contribution is that. Like Paul's work really gets you thinking about, oh, wow, you know, you're not just thinking about the subject now, you're thinking about the wordsmithing, the rhyming, how he's pulling it all together, also in his particular accent, you know, the linguistics, just everything. And it's just, and then you get microwave. But anyway,
Roses are red, violets are
are
blue. This poem makes no sense. Microwave. Queenslander. Queenslander. Says cheers. Hello to you. Josh Rose says this dude's thought, oh, that we are happy for athletes to make money and secure their future. Then every chance they get there, they make stabs about contracts. Well.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Josh is having a go. Hey, can't Josh? It's our show. What are you doing? Oh, you want to shit on us? Do it on Ingen's comments.
Or do it in all capitals.
He won't even delete your comments if you do that. So yeah. So Well, so there's a few things. Let's unpack that for a
I'll
moment.
fix the camera.
Let's unpack. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You talk about that. And I'll fix the camera.
All right. So these dudes talk that they're happy for athletes to make money. Absolutely. Really, really happy for athletes to make money. Very, very keen for that to happen. I guess for us, the sequence of events was that AWE 2 concludes very shortly thereafter. Our intercontinental champion. Oh, that looks a lot better. Well done. Our intercontinental champion is poached or is offered one of these contracts, told that he can't compete. Other athletes are spoken to, discouraged from competing at AWE. And of course, we know that the pool of talent's such that, you know, each promotion, you know, is especially when we're on the other side of the world, to attract a few big names is makes a big deal for us. And being a new promotion also helps with pay-per-view sales and all of that type of thing, you know, because all the fans want to naturally see the biggest names in the sport compete in in a world-class environment, and that's very much what we want to do. So we don't have that opportunity, but it's only part of the business model. So for us, it's also encouraging our athletes to build their own profile, and for us to assist them in doing that through the platforms that are available to us. So, for instance, our Instagram page hit record highs. I think nearly 120,000 people reached over the last 30 days. The number just keeps climbing every day. I check it, and that's with 1,000 or so people that are liking the page. And so the exposure for our athletes as they make content and we share that for them is far greater than what they might be able to achieve on their own. Also, we seek to assist our athletes in creating some of that content that supports their activities. So we know that prize money is just one part of the puzzle when it comes to being a professional arm wrestler. And not only that, but that might be limited to that elite, that maybe that 10 or 15 or 20 people in the world that have a name big enough where they where they can just compete and maybe live off the prize money or live off the appearance fees. There aren't many people out of a population of 8 billion people on the planet that have that opportunity. But there's a long tail of athletes that are emerging that have the opportunity to, whilst they're building their profile and whilst they're getting themselves to a point where they can maybe earn that type of prize money that they could just live off it. In the meantime, we're helping them build a profile so that they can enjoy what Ryan Bones enjoyed, and that is having social media as the backbone to your business, so that you've got a profile, so that you can develop your own personal brand, attract sponsorship money, and do all of those wonderful things that we see professional athletes and influencers around the world doing. So in part, we've got a promotion, and one of the wonderful ways for us to reach more people with our promotion was to attract international talent, and those opportunities have kind of, or the opportunities that we thought were going to be present aren't there anymore. So, and it is because of the contract situation. So, Now, here's the flip side of that. People are jumping on board with signing contracts, and so they're putting all their eggs in one basket. And what we've seen over the last, even the last 12 months, is the emergence of several promotions. And I would go so far to say that it's not just going to end there. There will be other players that enter the market, and maybe players with deeper pockets than, say, Core Sports and England Jersey. So there could be huge opportunities that present. There may even be, say, an existing promotion, say, that's just coming together and maybe just running their third event. Getting the resources together to be a very viable financial competitor in the space. It could happen to be. There could be any number of things that play out over the next 12 or so months that gives rise to opportunities for athletes who aren't contracted. It's been stated by some people WAL might enter. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. They might re-enter the market. Now, if they were to re-enter the market now, who would be available to them? And how much would that available talent get paid compared to East versus West? Now, let's just say Devlin Larratt, for instance, doesn't sign an exclusive agreement with East versus West, so he's a free agent. What's his price tag to, say, a $1 billion corporation? Let's say Dana White decides he's going to try his hand at arm wrestling because slap went so well. So he figures, arm wrestling's the next big thing. Let's throw $1 million at the biggest name of the sport. Oh, he's all signed up with England Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh well. I guess, what do we do?
Somebody else.
Give it to somebody else. We'll make somebody else our star. So it's now, from what I understand, these aren't necessarily. And here's the other thing. So happy for people to make money. Happy for the contracts. The contracts seem very restrictive in terms of people's ability to be able to compete in our promotion. But of course, some of the other promotions around the world, King of the Table,
Monster Factory,
Wars. You'll pick up all of these. So the doors are open amongst those guys. Now, it would also appear to me that I don't know if any of those guys are likely to be, that emerging big brand that it's going to ultimately lead the world of arm wrestling at some point in time. Not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will be East versus West, and everybody is forced to be a feeder into that organization. Maybe it isn't. But one thing's for sure, contracts are some part of it. But anybody who's naive enough to think that the current landscape is the destination for the sport is selling the sport short and potentially selling themselves short. So we've also had the controversy where Gabby has been lent on by WAF to not compete at the High Five event coming up. I mean, that card's been decimated, those poor guys over there, the Knuckles Up guys they've been doing a terrific job with their marketing, really good job with their promotion. They're really trying, as Neil Pickup would say. So they're doing a great job of it, and had a big card, a lot of big names, but of course a couple of withdrawals. So Wagner's out due to injury, but Gabby's been lent on by WAF, and essentially what was implied and what was interpreted by Jake Ward the other night was that if Gabby kind of falls outside of the good standing of WAF, then that would limit her opportunities on East versus West. Now, I've heard that from Jake, but I've also heard that from other sources, undisclosed sources that are close to some of these negotiations. So this is something that's definitely playing out, and we've got a body that's seeking to tie up all of the talent that it wants to sign, and the talent that it can't afford to sign right now or doesn't want to sign at the moment. It wants to let WAF seemingly, lean on those athletes that aren't going to fall into line right away. And you might say, well, hey, hang on, what's going on there? Well, East versus West, is that a tested event? Is that not a tested event? Well, there has been rumours that if an athlete competes on a card where a banned athlete is set to appear, or on a promotion that has had a banned athlete appear on the card. It's not clear whether it's on the same card as the athlete or whether that promotion has ever had a banned athlete there, that WAF will frown upon that, and that would limit your opportunities being East versus West. What's not clear is whether East versus West will be a tested event itself, because there does seem to be some implication there that if you've tested positive, that's a bad thing. WAF don't want that. East versus West don't want that. But it then sets up this whole curious dilemma for East versus West that, well, if that's going to be the gold standard and WAF is going to be the gold standard, are you going to apply that to your own organization? Are you going to start engaging in a proper and thorough testing regime and stand by those principles as laid down by WAF? Interesting.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. We'll get back to the comments here. The Drew says, Matt, did you like the SA Titans sticker on my water bottle? Did you spot that? I did indeed spot that. Absolutely. Which CD was there as well? I didn't see the CD. I was looking at the eggs and the sticker, and it was before my time, you whippersnapper. I'm not sure how old you think I am, Drew, but I might be a lot older than you think. But let us know which city it was that was on there. And 8 Ball says, sorry, Matty, but I've had it being fake nice to people who have screwed me over, and I'll drop it there. So 8 Ball is he's jumped in, and he's jumped in aggressively at the start here. Drew says, okay, on my phone, I jumped over here to hit the thumbs up. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If everyone could hit that thumbs up button, it does help
thumbs
us
up,
a lot.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah, subscribe. It's always, it's phenomenal if people just do that. It's a click. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do. Enormously.
It does.
Thank you to the 1,000 or so people now that have now following our Instagram page as well, and the hundreds of thousands of people that are tuning in every 30 days. Thank you to you all.
Kyle Davison says, should we get stocks in ice gel? Yeah, well, as the sport of arm wrestling continues to grow, I think ice gel sales will continue to rise.
Yep. So ice gel is just that it's a rub that you put on there for those people that are overseas that might be familiar with Cole's home products.
That's right. Cole's. It's fantastic. $4. It's fantastic.
$4. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Mario Shabaka says, oh, with a drinks clinking icon. I love that. Good on you there, Mario. And 8 Ball says that
I don't know if that's the announcement by Mario as to what's upcoming. I'm not sure.
We are so far behind on the comments here. We're still talking about Neil Pickup here. We've got Steel Stick Up as the comment from.
I'm sure that'll be somebody's Facebook name next week. It'll be
the troll army. Yeah. 8 Ball says he's another one who's turned his back on me for no reason. was that Neil? That was Neil that threw that on the floor. He's turned his back. Yeah, the we did the last one. The voodoo doll. Fine. Go on. He's another one who's turned his back on me for no reason. Beloved Neil, he couldn't stick his hand further up my butt. Never enough, because I wasn't handing over money.
Right.
And we've got Vince Roy Chong, who says, shout out. Hello to you, Vince.
Vince Roy Chong. I hope we said that correctly.
We probably didn't.
It's like half Italian, half Chinese.
It is.
Yeah. 100% cool.
It's cool when people do. What mispronunciations have you had of your name? Do you get Stockbridge?
Straightforward. It's David Stockbridge. Very fortunately. So, Condomely?
Condomely, yeah.
Condomely. You get that a bit?
Yeah, or colonnades or cauliflower.
Hollywood cauliflower.
Converse. I don't know. There's a few out there. 8 Ball is Neil Pickup started to ignore me as soon as I was seen with Paul Maiden at Club Torture. It's funny because I was his moderator on the Supernatural Strength channel. Then, like I say, seen me with Maiden, and my spanner was suddenly gone. Now, you tell me that's a coincidence. Well,
yeah, it does sound kind of coincidental.
Kyle has managed to write nothing and somehow get a comment out here as well. I don't know how you did that, Kyle, but very impressive.
Yeah, that's how I won the Day Shoppers of the Year award.
That's
just
right.
3 acts like that.
That's right. Bowen Contado says, yeah, man, still training. He's training both. He's got a comp on the 27th for the Axe.
Ah, there you go.
And where can
Very
we see that, Bowen? Is it broadcast anywhere? Because I'd love to watch it.
Yeah. And Bowen, how after competing on the Axe, how long does it take you before you're able to get back into arm wrestling training? Is it like the next day, or does it take you a few days or a week to be able to get around to getting on the table again?
Absolutely. Kyle says, someone can even shout out. Well, someone can even out my left. My finger's feeling a lot better. May not even notice on Sunday. You will, especially after some
Alpha
juice.
I think alpha juice. Apple juice.
Oh, apple. Maybe you meant apple.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
No
It's a
idea.
special supplement.
You're crazy, Kyle. You're talking nonsense.
I would always suggest Joe Weider's Megamass 3000. If you can get your hands on some of that, it's the ultimate tool for recovery.
It's 1,000 times better than the 2000 model. Yeah, that's right. It's skin flakes, I believe. Of Joe Weider.
This is Joe Weider from Joe Weider's
own personal supply. Why didn't Maiden have to remake the Arm Gods channel? What happened? I don't think he had to. I think they chose to do it.
No, I think there was some material on there that might have got them copywritten struck, like some music and some other things, and it was becoming a little bit squirrely and difficult to manage, and so it was just easy for them to wipe it all off and start again so that they could avoid that. And also, I think, look and feel and get their format right, because it might have just, as you do, you just kind of start putting things up there and then it doesn't really make sense. And so I could be talking completely out of turn here, but that's what I believe. And if Paul's still on the chat, then certainly jump in there.
Absolutely. And we've got 8 Ball says, yes, boys, you've got to back your mates up.
Got to back your mates. If you don't back your mates, then you're not a mate worth having.
That's it. Bond says, I got 3rd on right to Mario and Rickard. Don't worry, I'll be ready for AWE 3. I'm not taking you lightly this time. I tend to slow down on wood chopping once I have an arm wrestling event close. Yeah, we're very much looking forward to that match, Bowen. Be an incredible match. Rickard Borman versus Bowen Contado at AWE 3 on October 22nd. And very much looking forward to seeing that.
Bowen Contado could be just a more jacked version of Tim Graham.
It could be.
Yeah. Like they're share some genetic links. They should go on Ancestry and see. Probably find like they're second cousins or something.
They
like
both
that.
get fired up as well. Like they're both very charismatic on the table.
More than just the looks thing.
Maybe
that they've got
it was Tim that weekend.
Maybe it's just been.
So Travis, you outclassed the bum.
Yeah.
Why are we not transparent with the amount of how much arm wrestlers make to motivate the younger athletes by professional sports? Stay clean. Well, this is something that with my UFC buddy tip jar thing, but
it's around.
Yeah,
full.
It's full. It's full.
So
I've talked about it so much.
Take it out.
That's right.
Somebody empty it.
Give it to charity.
Yeah. Cure cancer with that.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is what Dana White said about athletes with salary in terms of, there is a reported amount that the athletic commissions legally are obligated to report, and so they will announce that. But then there is locker room bonuses, and there are other bonuses that the UFC would give to an athlete on top of their salary. And he said, somebody asked him, why do you keep that secret? And he said, well, do you want people knowing how much money you make? It's up to the athlete whether or not they release that information, because we're not going to be telling everybody what other people earn. That's their right to privacy.
Right, okay. So, yeah. And it's not that much. So if it was like $1 million, I'm sure you'd be hearing about it. But it's
yeah.
But when you've got a big contract and it's 10 grand, 12 grand or 16 grand a year or something like that, it's not really something to carry on to. I mean, it's nice, but it's it's not no Nike money there.
In terms of motivating the younger athletes, well, I mean, if money is your only motivating factor, then I think you're probably in the wrong sport.
Yeah. I mean, it would be there, and I think also relying on prize money to be that. As mentioned earlier, relying on prize money alone won't make you a professional arm wrestler in 2023 or probably 2025. But if you've got that social media backbone and you've got a profile and you've got a personal brand, then you're halfway to being that professional athlete you dream to be.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I always think that this is it's up to the athlete to control their destiny in terms of what they do with their opportunities. And if you are with a promotion that is doing their best to put your name out there and make content and get people to know who you are, it's a real opportunity for you to take that and run with it and say, okay, these people are doing this on my behalf. I also now have the opportunity to really make something where I'm not just getting that money from that organization from the payday of the match. I have the opportunity to now network with people that are in sponsorship roles or build an audience and have people that are watching my content. And, you have the ability to create another source of revenue or many sources of revenue. But if you are only relying on what the organization is paying you, it's sort of to your own detriment because, if you lose that position, say you lost a couple of matches and then they're like, oh, we don't actually have a match for you anymore. You've lost 4 in a row and maybe you should go get some more underground matches and then, build yourself back up and we'll get the opportunity again. But yeah, if you are putting yourself in a position where you are reliant upon the organization's money only when they are out there actively promoting you and you have the opportunity to build multiple sources of revenue, then I think you're missing out on many opportunities.
Wise words, Hollywood Matt Connelly, or Bollywood Matt Connelly.
It could be.
Has named you.
Exactly. Bond says, otherwise, whatever I'm doing is working. I've only been in arm wrestling for just about 3 years.
Absolutely incredible. And this is the other thing with this whole contracts thing. Like how many Bowen Contrados are out there? How many like insanely strong human beings are out there that are only just now discovering the spores of arm wrestling? So in the next few years, as those athletes mature into stronger and stronger arm wrestlers, where do those guys go? Where's the room? Where's the room?
That's right. I mean, you think 3 years from now.
So there's
what's going to happen between now and 3 years? And if you've locked yourself into a contract and maybe it's, I don't know, $3,000 or something for a match, and it's like, oh, great, I'm getting $3,000. And then within 6 months, there's another organization that's like, we'll pay you 50 grand. Oh, wait, you can't take it.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Stay over there.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, well, we wanted to have you, but
yeah. I don't think it's going to take that long to replace. So let's put our business hat on for a moment here and look at the average age of the elite athletes that are in the sport and the big names that draw those pay-per-view numbers. And it's not many of them that are under the age of 40. And most of them are kind of nearing to the end of their 40s or into their 50s now. There are a few exceptions, of course, but what's going on behind that? Where are the
undercard? Yeah,
where's the undercard? Where's that at? So, very, very interesting times.
Absolutely. So we chat back and forth with the guys.
Ace of Base. That popped up on my YouTube the other day.
It was Ace of Base.
Out of the blue.
Yeah, classic. I think the 90s, early 90s. I used to have that on a cassette on a Walkman.
Yeah, I think number one in the US. I think they were the longest reigning Swedish band to have a number one.
Really? Above ABBA?
Wow. I think they're the first Swedish band to have a number one single and number one album in the US at the same time.
Yeah, right.
There you go. There's an Ace of Base fact for you.
Right, because I remember back then, I was probably like 14 or something, but McDonald's had like this promotion thing where they were giving away cassette tapes. There was 4
Ace of Base.
Yeah, but there was like 4 different bands or groups or whatever over the month or whatever they did it. So
Peter Andre was one of them.
Yeah, probably was. But it was just that song on a cassette, and I remember getting the Ace of Base one and playing it while I was eating my Big Mac.
Probably good times when you had cassette players in cars.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And now you know how old Matt is. True.
You have to guess, ladies and gentlemen, what's my age in the chat? I bet somebody from the club will be like, it's this, because they know already.
Golden Dragon Arm Wrestling, short compilation of him smashing people. Oh boy, Chafee might not win this one.
Well, there we go. Check that out if you are interested in seeing that. Michael.
So that's still on, Chafee, the main event there is it the high five event, the Knuckles Up event?
I haven't looked. I don't know.
Okay.
Are they the same group, High Five and Knuckles Up?
I think so. I think they're the same guys.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought they were 2 different ones.
Could be.
Don't know. Michael Ford says, afternoon, gents. Good afternoon to you, Michael Ford. How far back we are here. We are trying to catch up on the comments here. I'm glad we brought more men. We did. There's a 300 movie reference there. And the Drew, okay, you hit the space bar to chat. Nothing. Oh, that was clever. That was how Kyle managed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Next day, I'm back to arm wrestling training usually. Wow.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's really surprising.
For sure.
How old are you, Bowen? You're still a young man.
Do you want to have a guess? Should we guess?
I'm going to say 28.
I was going to say 28.
Will you?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to go with 28.
28, yeah.
We'll lock that in.
Sweden Arm Wrestling Television says, "What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Would be fun to see your event in person someday. Well, we'd love to see you as
There
well.
is a prize for most travelled, so make sure you make your way down to Adelaide on the 22nd of October. Sweden Arm Wrestling. We'd love to see you there. If not, you're going to have that chance to head over to our brand new website very, very soon. It launches very, very soon. Any day now, we're told by our friends. So as a result, you'll be able to watch it there if you can't make it in person."
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. April channel got taken down, I believe, because we were a little controversial.
Could be.
Oh, there you go. But started again and already up to getting the subscribers back.
Yeah.
I got set on fire and stuff on the channel. No wonder we took it down. I didn't see that. That's like the workplace is a private thing. Yes, this is about announcing your pay. It's up to you individual to spill it. Absolutely.
Yep.
And it'll be the same for the athletes. Swedish Arm Wrestling TV. Craig is in the house.
Hey.
And what's my age again? Blink 182.
Thank you.
Absolutely, from that era. Very nice. Bowen thinks I'm 22 years old, which is a little off. And now he's gone the opposite way. He's gone 46.
Warmer.
Yeah, getting closer. Swedish Arm Wrestling Television. Drew doing his amazing stuff there and showing.
I don't know how he does it so quickly. It's amazing.
He's got a whole list ready to go.
Do you reckon he's just on one of his screens? Because from what I understand, there's multiple screens.
15, I think.
And so he's just got one that has all of these links just ready to go. So it's just like, yeah, and he can drag it across all the screens. So he's ready.
He is incredibly fast. Bowen's sister, he's 22.
Oh, Bowen's 22.
He's 22. We
Oh,
said
you're
28.
22. Oh, I thought you meant Matt was. Okay, yeah.
Right,
Yeah, we were going with 28. So, yeah, strapping young man. Actually, I didn't.
22.
22. What's going on? What's in the water up there? That's
Yeah.
absolutely insane, Bowen.
Absolutely.
So you and Rick are actually pretty close in age, as it turns out. So 20 and 22, I think. Rick might be 20 years old.
That's right. Matt's only 14. He was born hairy.
And with double biceps, a split
So
in
I
the
came
double
out with
bicep.
that.
Yeah.
It's the cesarean because of that reason. I was 2 weeks late, actually, when I was born.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, 2 weeks late. And I came out 11 something pounds.
Far out.
Yeah, which is humongous.
Got gains.
Yeah, that's right. The extra time.
Wow.
That's
You're
right.
like a toddler by the time you were born.
This thing, how it's on a slant, is annoying me. I'm going to fix that off.
What is your seat?
No, just the angle of the
the
desk.
angle of the desk is on an
See how
angle.
it's like
Oh,
sliding that way.
it looks like it's. Is it
Yeah,
worse
I
that
need to
way?
have it that way. Let me fix it.
What's going on? I don't think that. Oh, you want to make it square with the camera? Is that what you want to do? Should we just reorientate the whole studio? Hey, there we go. Yeah, so big news in the world of AWE, of course, for those people that are just tuning in now who hadn't been with us since the start. AWE 3 is coming to you live from the Hearts Mill, and there will be 3 events. So you'll have the tournament, which I think we've already agreed will be won by Mario Tambakis. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's still on an angle. It's weird. No, I think the camera's on an angle. Yeah, it's like if you bring it around that way a little, who knows? I mean, it's even wonkier. I think the camera actually is on the angle. I think it's on the wonk. That's better. Look at that. Ooh, still, who knows? It keeps moving on. Yeah, I don't know. It's moved back the other way. I think it's actually moved back better. That's pretty good. That's not bad. So 3 events. You got the tournament, and the tournament, the prize, one of the prizes, because there's prizes. So anybody can join that tournament. It's open weight tournament. It is right-handed. So if you don't have a right arm, obviously that's going to be a bit difficult for you. But if you're right-handed, you're an arm wrestler, you can sign up. You can compete. What is there an entry fee or a cost associated with?
Entering the tournament?
The tournament, yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, but there will be a price to enter the tournament and the last man standing. But if you enter both, you get a discount.
Get a discount. Very,
Yeah.
very good. So we'll release all those prices. It looks like we're not quite ready for that announcement.
Well, I've got an idea as to what it is. I just don't want to say it in case it's not exactly what I'm thinking.
Okay. So for as little as $10,000, you can enter the tournament and be beaten by Mario 10 buckets. But you got the tournament. Then we've got AWE 3, the main card, and of course the prize for winning the tournament is that you'll immediately be on the main card of the pay-per-view event, and then at the conclusion of the pay-per-view event there will be last man standing. So last man standing, so a king of the table, we can't call it king of the table anymore, but king of the table style, where you'll have a king on the table, you'll have your lit. What are we going to call that person?
You said you can't call it king of the table, then you said it like 6 times after that.
Just waiting for the copyright strikes.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of those. You'll have your person at the top of the table, and the person that spends the most time in that position will be one of our winners, and there will be a second winner, and that'll be the person that's in that position at the end. Now, that could potentially be one and the same people.
Yeah, that's what happened last time.
That is what happened last time, but essentially it means that anybody has a chance to win, and the more people, the more variables, the greater the chance the stronger athlete's going to be tired out more quickly as well. So this is literally an event anybody could win. So definitely a bit of fun straight after the main card.
Absolutely.
So lots to look forward to there, and of course we've got big matchup between Ryan Blue Bowen and Mazahir Sadhu. So the newly crowned king of India. And when you see the hometown welcoming that some of these Pro Punja League teams have received, it's just been absolutely amazing. There was literally thousands of people lining the streets to congratulate the winners of the Pro Punja League when they went back to their home city. It's it's normally something that was reserved for national teams that have triumphed in a World Cup or something like that.
Yeah.
But spectacular scenes coming out of India, and obviously a lot of people loving the great sport of arm wrestling over there. So we've got Mazahir Sadhu, King of India, up against the delusional Ryan Blue Bowen. So we're going to go with that. So that big matchup, and unfortunately Raul Panica can't make it over here, having been injured. But of course, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and the man that beat him is going to be replacing him on the card against Josh Parker.
That's right, absolutely, yeah. So it should be fantastic. We've got 3 Indians coming over, Indian superstars coming over to face off against our top guys here in Australia. So it will be a fantastic way to sort of bridge the gap, or to allow the amazing athletes that are in India to be seen by a more of, I guess, a Western audience that may not have seen them before. But these guys are no joke. They are phenomenal arm wrestlers, and they have a fantastic league over there in Pro Panja. If anyone has a look at, if you see in just the highlight videos, the production levels on point, the uniforms, the way that they filmed everything, the crowds are massive. It's like a huge stadium arena. They've got people in there, and everyone's excited. These guys are absolute legends over in India. So it's a real honor for us to have 3 of their best come over here to Australia to face off against some of our top athletes.
It's really good for those guys, because they get to see their level now, and see where they're at on an international level, having conquered their own country essentially. So so we're really looking forward to that. And of course that's all on the 21st of October here in Australia, 22nd if you're over in the US, I'm guessing. And of course to our friends in India that have been tuning in, you'll be able to of course see it same day as us, and only a couple of hours behind. So and of course all of that will be viewable on arm wrestling, awearmwrestling.com, and Ryan Blue Bowen's also going to offer it on his YouTube channel.
That's right.
So if you don't want to jump on the website, you can always go and support Ryan and watch it on the channel over there.
That's right. So yes, so if we're looking at the card, we've got the biggest arm wrestling match that's ever taken place with Marcus Satiro.
You almost forget with all of the Indian excitement, don't you? It's 771 pounds of human being across from each other on that table. This is going to be absolutely huge.
Enormous men, both of them, 170 kilos, 172 kilos. probably going to be even more by the time they get here. Both
Mm.
enormous men, incredibly strong, and that is a match that's going to be outstanding. It could be a main event just by itself. So Matawarengi Heta Morris, obviously coming over from New Zealand, being the unbeaten over there in over 10 years, having a fantastic match against Todzilla at AWE 2 and taking him to his absolute limit. What a fantastic event that was, and you can see that on the AWE YouTube channel or on the Hollywood Matt Connelly channel, and I think Ryan has put it up as well. But what a fantastic event that was, and to see Matawarengi do so well against one of the top guys in the sport.
Do you think he would have beaten John Brzenk?
Matawarengi? Well, that's an interesting question actually, because Todd, destroyed John just recently. So yeah, I think a lot of what comes down to arm wrestling, and this is what makes it fun and what makes it very interesting.
You could just say yes.
Well, I could, but his styles really do make fights, and they really do make a difference. If somebody is, very much able to hit with enormous side pressure and have a crazy strong wrist like Todd, and that sort of worked well for Matawarengi's game, which is to sort of sit back into an open hand top roll and use the opponent their aggression and their strength against them to allow them to wear themselves out. So he had that ability to do that, which matched up very, very well for him in that. So, but whether or not that would work exactly the same with John, who pulls in a different style and can literally do everything and anything. The guy has 10 out of 10 for skill across every level, and the experience is just off the bat. But it's hard to say that Matawarengi would be the favorite or that John would be the favorite in that. I think it would be a great match, and I would have loved to have seen it. And maybe we'll see it again in the future.
Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see John Brzenk versus Matawarengi Heta Morris. Wouldn't that be interesting?
That'd be amazing. Absolutely.
Who knows?
And Fox April says that was nuts. Popzilla beat John easier than I imagined. Yeah, I think it surprised a lot of people actually that the match ended up that way. I was yes, but that is the strength of Todd Hutchings, and he did a fantastic job winning against one of the greatest, well, probably the greatest of all time arm wrestler in John Brzenk.
Arm wrestler.
And the Drew says arm wrestling math can be so tough. Sometimes it totally adds up. Yes, as in, this person can beat this person, but then they lose to this person who that person beat. So it's very difficult. But
it's kind of how COVID, during COVID, that there was a lot of talk like that. There was a lot of talk from Ryan Bowen like that, as a matter of fact, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It's always fun points of discussion, and that's been one of the fun things about the no contract era, of course, because you can literally play out your fantasies, and if you can get both of those guys around the table at the same time, you can find out the answer. Matawarengi Heta Morris versus John Brzenk. What does that look like in 2023? Well, we might have been able to put a match up like that on, for instance, and the world might have been able to find out whether Matawarengi is leveled up, and where he might sit in the overall pecking order. But these contract negotiations have kind of made that a little bit more difficult. So we're going to have some exciting news coming up very, very shortly on the Intercontinental Belt, and of course we've got some big announcements coming very, very soon pursuant to our website. We're also going to have the pay-per-view rollout. So big exciting news with respect to the pay-per-view. So definitely stay tuned to that. And of course, what else is going on here?
Oh, well, I was going to say I'd like to break down the Matawarengi Heta Morris versus Marcus Atiwai match a little bit.
Of course,
because what's interesting is they do have similar styles in both respects, where they both are humongous guys, very, very powerful, and they almost do a very similar thing where they'll allow the opponent to get that first third on, and then they'll sit into an open hand top roll position and allow the opponent to sort of wear themselves out, and then they can scoop down and come back through. But when you're facing somebody else that does the same thing, how is that match going to look? It's very interesting to see, like, well,
who will hit?
Yeah.
Who will hit in that situation?
Exactly. Maybe they say go, and they both just sit in the middle waiting for the other guy to push. Yeah. It could be really interesting. And it's a strange, it's strange to me that the guys that are so big and so strong have adopted that style of technique as opposed to just being able to just blast through somebody.
Do you think that's in part because in the training room they tend to give a little bit
maybe
to their opponent, just a little bit of play, and so that starts to become something they get comfortable with? Maybe, because it, like you say, it does tend to be those massive athletes that have that style where they're catching and then almost from a defensive posture finding a way through and backing around.
Yeah.
Whereas you won't see that so much with, say, an 85-kilo puller.
That's
they're
a good
not
point.
Sitting back there and just waiting for it. So
could be that.
Maybe.
Because if you get on with Matawaringi, or if you get on with Marcus, that they know that they could just pin you, so they're going to be working or allowing you to work, and they're going to be doing that from a defensive position. So maybe that is one of the aspects where they feel the strongest, or they feel the most comfortable, because they had so much time in those positions that's where they are very familiar with feeling what the opponent is trying to do, how they can find their way through. Whereas if they're in the center of the table, maybe it's a little bit less of an experience where they know exactly the little movements and the feelings and the nuances to change angles to be able to roll through. So maybe that's why they're quite happy to give up that first third to find their area of comfort, where they're like, I know I can pin anybody in the world from this position, and so I'm just going to let them get me there, and then I'll work my way through. Whereas if you're in the center and you're trying to push, maybe you've given up, because you're not as skilled in that area of the table. Maybe you lose the match because you went for a pin from the center and you lost your wrist, or you lost positioning that you would have been able to get if you were from that first third. So it's a very interesting style of event, and I'm very interested to see how it plays out.
You should be an arm wrestling commentator. You know a lot about this stuff.
Oh, that's it. Fox April. I knew Todd would win. I follow him closely, and right now he's ridiculous. I hope you put a lot of money on that one then.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, how much money did you win?
I put no money on that.
I didn't put any money on
that. I don't trust these things.
You add in the variable of injuries, off days, sicknesses, or WAF even.
WAF.
Yes, the WAF.
WAF.
WAF
So WAF getting in. WAF getting involved. Very interested to see what the arm wrestling community feels about WAF getting involved and leaning on certain athletes to not compete here if they want to compete there. And is that fair? Is this organization? Where are they based in? Romania.
Who?
We're all credible institutions, worldwide sporting institutions are based, isn't it? Romania. Is it Romania?
Who is it? WAF. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Turkey, maybe? I don't know.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But if you know, certainly let us know.
Sorry, to cut you off there. I have no idea.
Yeah. So the implication there being that if you WAF have determined that you're appearing on a card, and there might have been some athletes that have tested positive to PEDs, then on that card in the world of arm wrestling, and so it then they'll lean on you and just let you know, just a gentle reminder. I think, Hollywood, it is. It's just a little tap on the shoulder, a little whisper in the ear, just to say, hey, that event that you were going to pull out next week, maybe you shouldn't pull at that if you want to pull at this other event that let's just call that other event East versus West. So if you want to go, I wonder if it's actually a Romanian guy with a bit of an accent that makes the phone call. Hello, maybe it's just somebody pranking them. Maybe hello, Gabby. Yes. This is Sergey. This is Sergey. We spoke a couple of times a few years ago at the internationals. Yes, I think I remember you. Anyway, you just a little thing about the testing that's going on. We don't like the PEDs. We don't like it when you're around those people. If you're around them, it may get in, may get into you, and we don't want this.
Yeah. So
you have to tell them you can only compete at East versus West, because that is the pure place.
That's right.
And so from what I understand, although this is maybe what's going on, no one in East versus West will ever be tested.
Really?
Ever.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
is that because they were not passed?
Well, I don't think that they don't seem to have any fear of it. It's almost like they know that the WAF officials will never come and test them.
Right.
It's like they just know that ASADA will never come and test the event.
Incredible.
Like they have zero interest in doing it.
They do. It's weird.
But they want to put it at an amateur level, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rife with it.
Right. Well, they're testing everywhere.
It's riddled.
Everywhere.
Riddled with
Because that's the problem with the sport.
You get up to the top levels and nobody.
Yeah, no.
No one at all.
Well,
we don't even need to test.
Well, I think what's taken for granted at WAF is once you do happen to get to East versus West standard, you don't need any performance enhancers.
No,
anymore.
of course not.
So I know guys that have just stopped eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of their prep for East versus West. So they don't need anything.
No water.
It's just the energy. It's just that Turkish air. That's enough to keep you going.
It's breathing.
Just the smog.
The smog.
Turkish smog.
Schmog.
It's smog. So that's all that's needed.
That's right.
That's all that's needed. So and looking at the ASADA list, Joe Witter's Mega Mass 3000 still appears on it. So
does it?
Yeah.
Was that the skin flakes?
Well, that's
Performance
that's a secret ingredient.
It's a secret ingredient. It's not a secret anymore.
Well, I mean, you let the cat out the bag.
Well, yeah, but he's dead. It's harder to come by now.
Microwave.
Couch Apple says, as far as my memory goes, Marcus Atirai versus Mataringa Hannah Morrison AWE would be the second heaviest arm wrestling match in recent era. Well, hang on a second here, Couch Apple. We'll add up the weights here. Corey West and Kadecha. How much does Kadecha weigh? Because I know Corey is about 190.
190.
And I think Kadecha was like 140 or
140,
something.
bit of a lightweight Kadecha.
Yeah,
so
we've got two 170 people.
172 kilos, both of them, as of this precise moment. As a matter of fact, we're at the point now where they've got to be very careful in which directions they go in, because if they go too far in opposite directions, they take out the balance of the axis of the Earth.
That's sit on either side of the plane. You can't be on the same side.
Yeah, no, I don't believe so.
They might actually
balance each other out.
They would, absolutely. So 172 kilos for Mataringi. Well, yeah, and for Marcus Atirai, so that's 344 of kilos. And I mean, if you've got 190 and 140, what is that? It's 290, 330. Yeah, not as much.
It's not as much.
There you go.
Not as much. So there you go. But interesting, Couch Apple.
It's close. It's close.
200 and 150. So we're talking 350. I think we still got you though.
200. I don't know if he was 200 kilos though. I think he was getting close to 200. I don't know.
It's like a WWE 200 kilos.
Yeah, I remember them saying he was close to 200. I don't think he was 200.
Yeah, I mean, you're wearing 20 kilos worth of clothes when you're that big anyway. So just keep everything covered. Add in that variable.
We saw that one.
Sickness. Yes.
Arm wrestling abacus Drew. I think Mark is selling them down the market. Okay. And Drew asked, what is this Spit Hood movie in post-production still filmed in Australia? That is a horror movie that I am acting in. We shot that quite a while ago.
This is your movie.
It is,
your horror movie, right?
Yeah, so we filmed everything.
Drew's the only person that remembers about this.
That's right.
I don't even know if your wife's asking after this project. No,
she was asking about I was doing it.
She didn't even know.
I just come home with blood all over my hands. She's like, good day at work today. Yeah. Great. Blood all over the pillows. I had blood on everything. Like my handles of my car, the steering wheel, the sheets, everything. Handle.
Actual blood?
No, fake blood.
Oh,
but it's hard to get it off. Like you wash your hands 1,000 times and it still like stains everything.
It's gonna give you real blood next time. So
yeah,
get off.
Yeah, but then you go back the next day and you get covered with it straight away anyway. So it's like whatever. I'll clean it all at the end of the movie
in 3 months' time.
That's right. Yeah. So we filmed everything, but there is one scene which is continuously getting rescheduled. It's a bit of a complex thing that they require a car and a stunt person, and then
trampoline.
The car got injured, and then the stunt person was sick. So yeah, we are very frustratingly there is one scene to go, and it had been one scene to go for about 6 months, which is a bit frustrating.
But we'll get there.
I hope so, because if you've got 99% of the movie finished and you've got one 5-minute scene to do, why wouldn't you just get it done? So yeah, that's part of filmmaking, unfortunately.
So there's two big releases coming up in 2023 that people want to diarise, and maybe the Drew you want to make mention of. So Spithood is naturally one of them, and of course the Latvian arm wrestling
Oh,
documentary.
yeah, of course. The Ray.
I think it's Netflix or Amazon. You're going to see that as Coach Ray Giannis.
It's comedy.
Yeah,
Between
it's
two
just
guys that are into
two
arm
guys
wrestling.
that are into arm wrestling. They love hanging out with each other at
Only
the
in
gym.
Latvia.
Yeah. So we'll look forward to seeing that on screens very, very soon.
That's right. Den's defends Foster. Hello, my fellow vampires and Australians. He is a vampire, apparently, with a vampire icon there.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, very nice.
All types.
Into the vampires there. 8-Ball says Artem also bricked it from David Bradford at Arm Gods Canada, pooped his pants. Oh, wow. I didn't hear about that, but that has also happened. If I have my UFC tip jar, wherever it is, it's here somewhere. But that happened to Tim Sylvia.
Yeah, I think he actually pooped.
He did. Yeah.
Sylvia.
Yeah. Oh, and what was the name? Justine Kish as well. A little bit, and it sort of dragged itself around the octagon. But she said at the end, she said, "Well, shit happens."
Fantastic.
What can you do? You getting punched in the face.
No, you're going to do poo-pee sometimes.
We had discussed that one already. That's the one.
Yeah,
we've got.
Okay.
The Drew has given me a shout out there. Thank you very much. Matt Connelly 13 on Instagram. He doesn't have an Instagram.
Can you change that?
The Drew.
Shouldn't it be Hollywood Matt Connelly by now? You can just change the handle.
I don't think I can. I can change the handle, but I can't change the actual address name.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Oh, that's okay. I'll be Matt Connelly 13. That was my old security number.
Yeah.
There was 2 Matts, and I was called 13 because that was the number I was given. Designated, yeah, absolutely. Every other number up to 20 was taken, and when I had signed on, it was 13 was the only one left, and I was quite happy to take
Ominous.
It was good. I was happy with it.
Yeah.
The Drew, one fun fact is the name of assistant director for that movie is also Matt Connelly, not our very own Mr. Double Biceps. I'm not the director, but I am the lead bad guy.
You're the lead bad guy.
I am Spithood.
But did you know this? Did you know that it was Matt Connelly as the director?
Well, they've obviously just listed it wrong.
Or assistant director.
Yeah, they must have just looked.
Really?
Matthew Bryce is the assistant director.
Bryce.
So they've probably just written that wrong.
Yeah.
But yes, nice guy, Matthew Bryce as well. But yeah, definitely one of your favorite people.
Yeah, you're right up there with Engen.
Josh Rowe. They spend more time hating on East vs. West than promoting their own promotion. Meanwhile, Engen has nothing to say about it. Well, we're getting a lot of vitriol coming from Josh here. We're having a great time here, Josh. We love talking to the people and the fans of arm wrestling.
Josh.
And we do promote our AWE event.
Oh.
And I don't think we've hated on East vs. West at all. We've
bit.
made some jokes. And
we've had some jokes. Just jokes, Josh. What's your problem, mate?
I think he's maybe feeling a little bit sensitive. But
why are you so sensitive, Josh?
Josh,
maybe we need to have
we're happy to have you here, but we have nothing against East versus West.
We are very happy to have you here, Josh. But yeah, it's hating.
Yeah, Matt Connelly's assistant director. Well, that's incorrect. I am not the assistant or the arts director, if for sure. Yeah, no, that was me. I'm the lead. The acting side of it is Spitwood. Yes, not finished and still one scene to go.
Getting there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Up there too. Big boys.
You know, the frustrating part about that movie for me is because I'm very happy to be part of it and to do it, and it was a lot of fun and all the rest of it. But they're not. I can't release any of the content or photos or any of the stuff because they want the character to be hidden until the movie gets seen.
Oh, right. So you got all these cool pictures of yourself with the blood and shit all over you. Yeah. You haven't been able to show anybody for a year.
That's right. But they've been promoting everyone else in the movie because they could show scenes of them. Not for me, because obviously they want the reveal to come when people.
Did you have a beard then?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Oh, good. So you don't have to shave it off to do that final scene or anything.
No, that's right. But yeah, so I'm wearing a mask throughout most of the movie. So
nice.
This is a Spithood thing. Free Zems is Cody, Corey and Cody's merit was up there too. Yeah, we did discuss that before. Yes, big men the arm wrestling scene. I'm kind of a big deal. If you didn't know, my apartment smells of rich mahogany, and I have many leather-bound books.
Microwave.
Was once in a very popular movie once. I was Troy the Gardener.
Hey.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's about the Holocaust, I think. It's the first thing that popped in my head to say. I was like, say something, and it's like, that's what popped up.
Anna Milkman.
He also played a postman and a milkman.
Yeah.
Wow. So not just a gardener.
Couldn't have been recently, because it would have been post person and milk person.
Milk person.
So a little while ago, obviously.
There we go. We've got 8 Ball says, of course, Tea and Biscuits, Creatures of the Night is Defends Foster. He's really pushing this vampire thing here. We've got Stretches of Delight. We've got Josh Rowe. He's probably a very another positive comment here. You guys spend...
It's
the same one.
Guys spend more time hating on East versus West and England in particular than promoting AWE. Interesting that King of the Table Core Sports left out of the bashing. Yeah, mostly because Angle was giving Ryan a bit of a hard time. So, yeah, and also because
don't really know anyone.
I don't really know. Angle's,
I don't really remember what the England looks like. As I said before, it keeps coming up for me. Mental imagery is Igor Mazarenko.
Yeah.
You can change the address, mate. Get it done. The address, I think the username is the issue there.
The username? No, I think you can change it.
Oh,
I'm sure you can change
it.
See if Drew, if you can change it for him.
Here's my password.
There you
go. Facebook account. There we go. Hollywood Matt Connelly 13. There it is, the 13 again on Facebook. And it looks like I'm 13 years old. Well, we didn't reveal the age of me before, did we?
No.
We only had one person guess, and it was Bowen, who said 46.
46,
yeah. A little bit off. It's 41.
Not far.
41 is the answer.
Oh. AWE is only second to Arm Gods. I'm very happy to take that number 2. AWE is only second to Arm Gods in the eyes of 8 Ball. And Josh, he finds it interesting. He finds it interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also find it interesting.
How come Drew and Phil are mods on every channel? I go, this is a contract thing or what? I press.
Yes. They are on an exclusive agreement with everybody. So
with everybody. It's exclusive to every channel out there.
Yeah. As long as it's arm wrestling.
So they're
paid by YouTube just to keep the arm wrestling community thinking that there's more than 3 people interested.
It does astound me how every single stream, no matter what time, who's on it, these guys are always there. It's fantastic.
They are
big fans.
They are big fans, and not to besmirch Josh too much. I think it's the first time I've seen Josh's name pop up in the comments. So my apologies if you have been in the comments and not seen you before, but we love seeing fresh blood in the comments, Josh, and certainly feel free to keep throwing those opinions at us. We'll never be terribly offended, mate. You keep on slugging there, and we'll keep covering up. You're all right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just people. I've had a few people go, "Oh, it must be stressful." I'm like, "This is fine. Like, we're doing the AWE stuff. Like, this is just. It's been nothing but sort of kind of fun in a way."
Probably. I mean, I would say the whole controversy has probably been good for our socials. It's been good for engagement. At least people know that we exist now. Maybe they didn't before, and maybe they've all of a sudden it's popped up in their feed, or they've got a reason to know that we, 2 and 2 come together and they see AWE, and then maybe one of the matchups or some other piece of content that pops up. It might be, something that Ryan's posted or something we've collaborated with another athlete, and all of a sudden people are getting a bit of a picture in their mind as to what AWE is all about. And for those people that like our friend Josh, who might be new to what we do, we're just doing our own little thing in the world of arm wrestling. We're trying to put on world-class events where athletes get a fantastic platform. We're trying to do what everybody else is doing, like our friends there at Arm Gods and like Engen's doing, for instance, just trying to find a model that works. So, events are great, but they're also, they're expensive. And so to continually do them means, finding that sweet spot of profitability and creating an event that's really engaging and understanding what we need to do in order to make our pay-per-view absolutely hum. What we need to do to make our product accessible in the lead up to these events and all of these things. There's a real alchemy to it, and I don't think anybody in the arm wrestling world at the moment has really got their head completely around it. So this is creates a great opportunity for us to experiment. And so a few of those things, for instance, in terms of experimentation, was athletes being able to call and have a foul or a call against them reviewed. That, tremendous innovation. I think that'll get picked up because it's a great idea. It's an easy way to settle disputes. So it's one of the replays. So another innovation. So all of a sudden, almost in real time, you can get that replay. So if it is a foul or whatever is going on, you can see it. But also, those viewers watching from home, there's so many, you can be a little bit distracted, or sometimes you find that even the cameraman's distracted at the critical moment and you miss the pin because the cameraman's panned off to the crowd or to somebody else and wasn't paying attention because I don't know if they're really arm wrestling fans, these cameramen, or what it is, but they trail off at exactly the wrong time, and then you miss the pin, but there's no replay, so you can't get it. So introducing a replay was another one of those innovations. Staging it in a cage, whether you like it or not, it is innovative. It's pretty cool, and I guess from our end, it's been something that's defined our brand now after 2 events that have proven to be quite successful, and people are kind of used to now seeing a cage around it. So you're going to see even a further innovation of that concept at AWE 3, for instance. And of course, the events are just one part of our business, and what we're seeking to do, of course, is to provide a platform for athletes to become professionals in the sport. Whereas it would appear that Engen's gone down the road of remunerating the athletes for what it is that they do on the table. We kind of have the view that it'd be great, but we're not quite in that position to throw millions of dollars at athletes yet, because of course we're then reliant on sponsorship dollars and revenue streams so that we can better support the athletes with prize money. But in the meantime, what we're seeking to do is help our athletes develop their own personal brands so that they can get more opportunities both in the sport and commercially. So from our end, Josh, if you're wondering what it is that we're all about, that's really what we're all about. And of course, heading on Engen. So that's the other thing. So those pillars. So, and we take everything very, very seriously here.
Nothing we've said is a joke. It's all 100% real. The Drew says Matt has said his age once before. Said in capitals for some reason.
Said he said it.
He said it. I just done remember what it was. He says 41. That's fake. He is still younger than me, Matt. What did you guess my age on that video I made for you? Mid 30s?
53.
53? I don't think so. No? I'd say 35, maybe.
I don't know. I think you're timeless. It's very, very difficult. Very difficult to pinpoint there.
Well, it was like watching a unicorn up here with the Drew. The first time I actually got to see what he looked like.
I was half surprised he was real.
Yeah, that's right. It's a real person. This is weird.
And then it occurred to me it was probably just AI and it wasn't real.
No, it was probably scripted. Yeah. It's one of those automated videos.
He just typed into ChatGPT, man, opening box with AWE shirt, Buster's hot sauce, and it just came up with a great visual. And yeah, that's what he sent us.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Maybe he is AI.
He could be. Maybe that's how he gets on every single stream that's going around the world.
It's making sense now. That's how he knows that everybody's going live, because he is AI.
He is the internet.
Yeah.
That's it. People, if my blood drops on the ground, it makes a hole, then a little stormtroopers march out. I have no idea what you're talking about. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yep.
Damn, auto-corrected. Well, try to tell us what you meant. I don't know what that meant.
Not sure.
Bowen says, I was going to say Engen doing what he's doing is kind of helping AWE at the same time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have focused on AWE, and this is just, people have asked us about this stuff. This is why we're talking about it. And we did have an obligation to
shit on him. No, sorry.
to talk about Todd Ziller not being able to defend his title and why. Because
that might be where people. Yes, of course. That's where maybe some of the resentment has come from, because naturally that is exactly what happened. Our Intercontinental Champion was poached, and almost the moment I'd like to think Engen flew to Ohio to pick Todd Hutchings up in a snowmobile. No. But in summer.
Yeah.
And picked him up from the
It was
airport.
one of those ride-on
And
lawnmowers.
just stood there at the airport with a little bit of cardboard. Hutchings just waiting, just waiting. Flight delayed, just waiting, and then Todd Hutchins comes down the escalator. Oh, and I,
Come.
I've got the car, and
Snowmobile, it's ready.
Jump on the back. And on the way, you know what this is? We're going to have contracts, and just he did the deal on the way home.
Yeah, focus. Todd couldn't hear him over the noise of the engine.
Yes,
and the bumping and the constant, and he was holding a piece of paper. Just hold it there.
Yeah, you just lean on my back. You're fine. It's fine. And I'm pretty sure that's how it panned out.
It's usually the way.
Yeah. So so that's what's happening. Engen's flown over, picked Todd up from the airport. On the way back on the snowmobile, talked him into the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were forced to make an announcement about it. We didn't want to mention Engen picking him up from the airport or the snowmobile. We didn't want to mention any of that because that would have been.
That's their business,
that's their information.
That's right.
If they want it.
Exactly.
I'm coming out with it now because I feel like Engen kind of more of this story needs to come out.
Right. And there's footage of it, and here it is. It may be AI generated and not looking anything like Igor Masarenko.
What if AI just came up with Igor instead, and you didn't know?
Oh, that's right. There it is. That's perfect. That's exactly the guy I wanted. I seriously can't picture.
Oh, you can't.
No, it keeps coming up as Igor. I don't know. I remember the video that Engen did, and he had the singlet on. I remember the singlet and down, and I don't remember the face. It's weird, but yeah. I mean, we're having this thing.
But so at the end of that, we knew that we didn't have our intercontinental champion. We'd had planned to have Lachlan Adair compete against Todd Hutchins for the intercontinental belt at AWE 3. So that was something, and it was something that was implied in our agreement that the title holder would return to defend the title. And Todd was very gracious in letting us know that, look, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. This is why, and this is the weighing things up. This is what I've got to do. So as soon as practicably, Todd was right on the front foot and very honourable, and just let us know, look, this is the way things are going down for me. It's a great opportunity, and that's just one of those things. And we want the best for Todd, and he's obviously got his career path, kind of sorted for the next few years now, and he's definitely at that elite level, and he wants to make sure that. At his age of 3 bouts a year or thereabouts, that's a sweet spot for him. Gives him plenty of chance to recover and get strong for the next one, and might even add another couple of years to his career yet. So, yeah, I mean, and it seems to me that every time he jumps on the table, he just gets better.
He's incredible. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he's very,
absolute
very
privilege for us to have him down here.
It was, it was, and it was, naturally disappointing that we don't, because somebody like I'm going to say Stardust, when a Todd Hutchings is part of your event, some of your Stardust does drop over all the other athletes, and everybody gets to enjoy, and gets to see, somebody that they idolize and respect up close, and that's really good for the developing athletes. And it's one of the sad aspects of this, that there might be less of that going on.
That's true.
That proximity that some of these emerging athletes have been able to enjoy to the elites of the sport. So elites of the sport over the last year or two. Those guys aren't going to have that.
Even the guys from the club were so excited that they'd get the opportunity.
I was so excited.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it was incredible. The guys from the SA Titans Arm Wrestling Club, or anybody here in Australia that was like, oh, Todd Hutchins is coming, or some of the big names that we had on the card, and it's like you get the opportunity to not only hang out with these guys after the event, but maybe you get on the table with them as well, which is just phenomenal. So what other sport do you get the opportunity to do that? So yeah, to have somebody of that caliber to come over here to meet our people, and just so many like amazing photos everyone was sharing on Facebook. I got to meet this, and people that was excited to meet with Lachlan Adair and all these top guys of the sport, and Ryan Bowen, of course. It was
and Ryan Bowen.
Yeah. Well, no, there was a lot of people very excited to meet everybody and anybody that is in the arm wrestling world. And the fun thing is, like, because you might think that you're doing quite well with arm wrestling, and like, oh, I'm doing all right. But you'd always wonder, like, what's it like to grip up with somebody of that level, or that elite level? And it's like, I wonder what it would just be like. They're going to just destroy you, but just to think, I wonder if I've got anything. And of course, you don't. But
there's that moment where you think, maybe I am a world champ. Let's get that elbow on the pad. And
my hopes and dreams are destroyed. But I got it on camera, and it was amazing. That's when I got to pull against Devin Larad. I mean, that was phenomenal. It was, and I think it was basically the first time I'd arm wrestled properly, and to go against Devin Larad of all people,
spoiled early on,
was incredible opportunity. Josh Rowe, to be honest, I think you guys have good intentions, and it's great what you're doing in your part of the world. Well, thank you very much, Josh.
Josh, and what is your part of the world, Josh?
I'm going to say he might be from America.
You're going to say America?
I'm going to guess America.
I want to say Canada.
Yeah. North America.
I want to say Tahiti, and I thought, no, probably not.
That's great.
Yeah.
8-Ball must be a xenomorph from that Aliens movie with the acid and blood.
Yeah.
No idea what you guys are on about.
Rumored. Yeah.
Josh Rowe has another comment here. I believe if another promotion showed up down there and started using the athletes that you have invested in and promoted, you would be inclined to secure those athletes exclusively.
Yeah, well, that's a really interesting point, isn't it, Josh? So, are you suggesting that Engen has been so these athletes didn't exist 2 years ago, or so in other words, Engen's the maker of their fame? Is that what you're suggesting here?
I'm not Josh.
Josh? Matt? Who? It's not you. So essentially, I mean, Engenson hasn't developed any of these athletes. What he's done is given them a platform in the last couple of years over 9 events. Let's just put it into perspective. It's been 9 events. Is that right?
For East versus West?
Yeah.
I don't know.
9-ish. Let's say 9. I don't think they're up to double digits yet. So 9 events over the last 2 years. And let's look really objectively, Josh. I'd like you to really, if you want to talk about development of an athlete, what are we actually talking about? Are we just talking about putting them on a table against another competitor, or are we talking about building their profile? Are we talking about supporting them with their social media? Are we talking about spreading the word about the athletes? Building? What are we exactly talking about here? So and of course, there can be player management agreements that don't necessarily entail exclusivity on where an athlete might compete. There are other ways to protect your IP. If you feel like you're investing really heavily in an athlete and you don't want that to go to waste, and you feel like there's you've got a commercial stake in that athlete, well, there are other ways of doing that don't involve exclusive contracts, but exclusive contracts are maybe one of the pieces of the puzzle. And Josh, as we've mentioned before, everybody's striving to find the model that works best, and of course everybody's kind of extrapolating from those models that are pre-existing in the fight game, in the sports world, in the world of business just generally, and people are trying to work it all out for themselves. The guys from Armed Gods have got some really innovative stuff going on the tech side of things, and have a great subscriber model, which is proving hugely successful. They've also, the look and feel of their events is completely different, and so they've really defined what their brand is all about. And so you've got they're doing their thing. You got East versus West that's now going, and I think here's the thing: you got East versus West, King of the Table, Arm Wars, and Monster Factory. So we're not talking about, so these aren't exclusive agreements necessarily pursuant to one promotion, which is like, can you imagine the UFC then permitting all of their signed fighters going off to say the different boxing federations, or doing some kickboxing over here in an organization in Europe? What's it? Yeah, no, it doesn't kind of ring. It doesn't ring true. But what's going on here is definitely exclusionary practices, I think is the term that you might hear the lawyers suggest, and exclusionary practices, which deliberately excludes a competitor from the space by establishing a monopoly or duopoly or control over a market, or using a dominant market position to disadvantage emerging competitors. I think there's a UN convention on it, actually. So it's a very interesting time. But Josh, that's what we're all about, and we're excited for the developments that are going on in the arm wrestling world. So you won't find us getting too miserable about it. And I guess from our end, we've had to pivot because we had a plan to attract some of the best talent to Australia, so we could pit some of the emerging talent from our part of the world against some of the best in the world, and that was part of the plan, and maybe and so what we've had to do is just adjust plans.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing. If another organisation did start coming down to Australia and putting on events, we would pivot again, and we would figure out what's the best course of action.
We'd sign all our athletes up to exclusive agreements, and we'd absolutely engage in exclusionary practice.
And if anyone was seen with anybody from that organisation,
we get WAF.
You're out.
Call them on
You're gone.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
We get Sergey on the phone.
This is Sergey from RAF. We spoke at the internationals a few years ago. I'm sure you remember me. I remember you. I would like to talk to you about some things. I noticed that you spoke to somebody who may have used PEDs once. I would like to ask you to stop speaking to them.
You've probably already got the performance enhancing results from speaking to them. So maybe you're
very afraid of these people.
Drew says he's 46. Well, I was completely wrong with my 35-year-old guess, but you're looking in great shape, Drew, and well done to you.
He's 46.
Wow.
There you go. Just what did I say? 53. I was closer than you.
You were.
Yeah.
That was way off.
Yeah.
I'm a dinosaur 8-ball as well, but when I'm ready, what I might punch. Okay.
Then violently.
When I broke my arm wrestling cherry, it was a tournament in Portertown. I was there to help out, film, etc. Set up. Next thing I know, Dan Earthquake calls my name. I'm like, Dan.
Is it to be continued?
I'm not pulling. He's like, yes, you are. Maiden's paid you in. Get up here. Rip off the hoodie. Gone up there and won a left-handed match.
Wow.
Easy. Lost later to the guys that are row now, I believe. That are row. That are row. I don't know what that is, but well done to you. And to win your match, your first match ever, is phenomenal. As I've said a few times, I went 0-8 my first 8 matches in tournaments. But it's one of those things with South Australia, having a fewer arm wrestlers. So the guys that were in the tournament are very seasoned.
Yeah.
And they were the only ones that were in there. So, me, I think I was 3 weeks in. It was like, yeah, tournament, let's go. Of course, I got blown out of the water. And again, even like a year later, it's still not up to their standard.
3 years later.
Yeah, still way behind. World's Strangest Man has appeared. He says, hey, mates, good to see you here. The WSM, World's Strangest Man. And how do you say that word? That's the slant. Is it salute or is it slant?
Smoky. I'm not sure what that word is.
I see it a lot from the guys from the UK. I don't know.
Right. Okay, mate. Yeah, it's a little bit of
it's like a cheers sort of thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like a salute or something.
Salute, but it's not. It's a slightly different version.
It's 4:30 a.m. there. He woke up early. Well,
I'm glad you did. I hope you wake up early to tune into us. So that would hearten us a lot.
That's great. Couch Apple is heading off. Good to see you, Couch Apple. Mr. Couch Apple, not at the moment.
I want to. Couch Apple has been posting some pretty insightful stuff just recently. So I don't think Couch Apple is necessarily trying to be a professional YouTuber or commentator in the space, but he does post some interesting things, and so definitely follow him. He'll share with you his thoughts, and whatever he pops up is very well considered. So we got Dankius, the giant killer, in the chat. Taryn says that's Taryn Broad. Josh Engen's content says the athletes can compete anywhere but AWE. That's what I understand to be the case as well, Taryn. So he's doing it to spite. Ryan. I suggest that is correct. Well, I mean, Paul Maiden's got other opinions. The puppet master theory is out there, but yeah, I mean, on the surface of it, if you just happen to, let's say you parachuted in from Mars and you happen to see those videos, you wouldn't say that Engen, was a big fan of Ryan Bowens or anything that we were doing. And if you looked at all of the comments and saw what was going on there, it'd be hard to say that he was trying to do anything but exclude AWE and maybe another promotion. So on one of Paul has another theory on what's going on at the moment, and we're starting to see some very interesting things play out there. So he might have been on the front foot with this one in suggesting that the High Five guys who've got I think their events this weekend, as a matter of fact, it's dawning upon us very, very soon. So I'm looking at a puzzled Hollywood Matt Connelly. But
I'm so concentrated on AWE stuff, I don't know really what else is happening.
So you've got you've got their event coming up, and they've had Gabby had to drop out. Gabby's husband, I think, was also scheduled to be on, and so they must have been a pigeon pair. So lost one, lost them both, along with Wagner. Unfortunately, he was injured, so there was no talk there. But because there was one athlete on the card who was who's banned from WAF, word on the street is that Gabby Sergey made the phone call.
When you say on the street, do you mean those pretend streets they have at the zoo?
I mean on the streets of Romania.
Oh.
That's sort of WAF headquarters.
April says there's for an event idea, promoters versus promoters. Well, that's what we're trying to get happening is the New Year's Eve match, Engen Jersey versus Ryan Bowen.
Madison Square Garden.
Buy your tickets now. It has all been orchestrated, this whole thing.
Buy your tickets and free tickets to Nickelback.
Yeah, that's right.
See you in for New Year's Eve. Big...
I don't know how they got hated so quickly. It became cool to hate Nickelback. I think they're great.
What, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
People hate Nickelback?
No,
you love them?
Yeah, I think they could.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, back when they were doing music. I don't know what they're doing now.
They're doing live shows. Yeah, Madison Square Gardens.
Oh, on New Year's Eve with Engen Jersey and Ryan Bowen.
Engen Jersey, Ryan Bowen.
If I was rich as AF, I would have fully funded whatever Bowen would want to do in arm wrestling, like give $100,000 prize, tournaments, etc. That's very kind of you, Drew.
Wish you were rich too, Drew. It sounds like you would be one of those nice, benevolent billionaires.
There you go. And Bowen says it's like Coles and
not
Woolworths.
the type to invest in Pfizer or anything like that. It wouldn't be that type.
No.
Or buy all the available farmland in the United States.
Yeah, that's Bill Gates. It's like Coles and Woolworths shutting down smaller shops, so there's no competition in the market.
It's a little bit like that, Bowen. It feels a little bit like that. I feel like the IGA that's just had a big new supermarket built next door.
Yeah. Shutting down is in lowering their prices to make people want to not shop at other shops.
There's been some controversy over those tactics over the years. Exclusionary practices.
And just catching up on the
international laws around these things.
There is, yeah, absolutely. Anti-monopoly.
Reading into it yourself.
I know a lot about it because of the UFC.
So there we go.
When they bought Strike Force.
Yes, okay, yep.
Whether or not they were allowed to do that or whatever, because Bellator was out there and they just started. And anyway, but they worked their way around it.
They sold off an asset here and a brand there and put it all together nicely.
That's right. Slant sounds like slant. Slant, means Mitch. Okay, slant. Okay,
slant.
Right. Okay, cool.
Slant,
means cheers. Very good. Thank you for solving that. And Paul Maiden has jumped back in. Bollywood, what are your bicep measurements?
They're 13.5 inches. It's all an optical illusion.
It's an AI. So, AI developed this section here. It's just this bit. That's it. I don't know. I haven't measured for a little while. Last time I did, it was between 17 and 18. I'm not sure. It's not up to the enormous levels of some of the elite pullers that are out there of the 20-inch marks. But yes, it's all about the shape and the line. You get the split there. That's the key.
You won't find a more beautiful bicep in the world of arm wrestling. That's one thing for sure. Look at that.
Look at that shadow, by the way.
Look at that shape. Look at that shape. Look at that peak. The split. Very, very
Thank you for that question, Paul. Can they pull an arm guard?
Who can pull it up? Who can?
I don't know. The exclusive contract doesn't restrict the arm guards.
Is Ryan Bowen allowed to pull arm guards?
I don't know. He doesn't have an exclusive contract. So
with AWE?
Well, no, he doesn't have an exclusive contract.
What do you mean? What? You didn't sign him up?
No, we do one-off things, and it's not a contract; it's an agreement.
It's an agreement. It's not a contract; it's an agreement.
It is about agreement
for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life,
you're free to come
agree
back to AWE
to give us $1 million every match.
Can they pull it arm guards? Can they pull it arm guards, Paul? You let us know. Has the puppet master provided permission? As what does Neil say on the matter? That's what matters.
The truth says he won his first super match the first day in arm wrestling. What? First day on an arm wrestling table. That's incredible.
Wow.
And it's on Benji Mac's channel. My first day of arm wrestling at Brandon Allen's Halloween party. Incredible. Wow, there you go. I've lost most of my matches, and
no wonder you're a fan. I mean, you jumped on. You're instantly a success.
Yeah. How did you go? Your first super match. How did you go? I'm trying to remember who you went against.
Might have been Leon. Might have lost against Leon.
Oh God, yeah, that would have been a tough match off the bat.
Yeah. And then I beat him the next time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
fantastic.
So I lost him the first time, beat him the second time.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
there you go.
He beat me after.
Yeah,
but anyway,
that didn't count that one.
No, I wasn't really trying.
Until arm wrestling, I was never into strength at all. I was skinny little rollerblading devil's lettuce puffing knobhead. And now you arm wrestle as well.
Yeah, it's all of those things and more.
That's right, and more. Congratulations, Drew, about winning his super match. Still not even you're not even a year in yet.
What do you mean?
Which I started 30 years ago. Well, that's what we're doing. We're trying to give people the opportunity to find out about arm wrestling and get involved in it.
Get involved.
That's right. I've been to schools, I've been to gyms, I've been all over the place that I can to do arm wrestling demonstrations, putting content out every day. We're doing the AWE, we're doing the podcast right this minute to talk to people that are interested in arm wrestling, and we're putting it across 5 different channels right this second to try to get the sport noticed and get people interested in it. And we're very happy to have the people in here that we're talking to at the moment. We've got 34 people in the chat right now.
Get out of here. 34. This is amazing.
Absolutely.
So I've just got my phone on here. I've got my lad in the building in a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So God says, never live in the past, Drew. Live in the now. You have had your first win and onwards and upwards. Well done to you.
Yeah.
Josh Rowe says, I believe the contract is exclusive to East versus West and King of the Table, but exceptions would be made for Arm Wars, Sponsor Factory, and would assume anyone else that lives in Engen's good graces. That's
a fair assumption, Josh. I think that I think that there's a heavy dependence on the benevolence of Engen amongst in those contracts.
The truth is, Paul Maiden is actually a decent guy, despite his efforts to make you think he's a dirtbag. I think if people don't see how funny he is, if they're not getting the jokes and the humor, then I guess if you're taking what he's saying at face value and you can't understand subtleties and comedy
or his accent.
Yeah, maybe. But Paul is hilarious. Every time he talks, he's making me laugh. He's got a laundry list of insults that he just rattles on pure, like so simply, and all of a sudden he's insulted you 15 different ways. They're so creative that it's just, you laugh and I'm having a great time. He's doing poetry. He's a hilarious guy. He's very, very talented. And if anyone thinks he's a dirtbag, my God.
He's a Renaissance man. That's what he is.
A Renaissance man.
Yeah,
absolutely. Josh Rowe says he obviously has a problem with Ryan.
Yeah, he does have a bit of a problem with Ryan. It's a bit of a strange fixation. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that Paul Maiden says is part of his theory here, is that Engen seemed to have been able to make up with everybody but Ryan Bowen.
Haven't heard anything back.
So it's and I also think because maybe Engen has to. You can't maintain. You can't if you're the want to be the promoter and you want to attract all of the talent, I don't know if Engen is well served by continuing a dispute with Devon Larratt. And if a dispute did continue, how well that works out for Engen, for instance, or any of the other figures that have been named that he's been in dispute with. At the end of the day, Engen has zero vested interest in Ryan Bowen's success.
Yeah.
And so Engen probably has nothing to lose in continuing that. But I will say, Olive Branch has been offered. There's been efforts have been made, and they've been firmly rebuffed. And of course, the ensuing actions leads many to believe what it is that you've stated in the comments there, that that maybe there's a bit of a personal vendetta that is a little bit deeper. Ryan is pulling at arm gods. Is that an announcement? Is that what we?
I don't know. I don't know what that last little bit means. Ops. World's Strangest Man has returned. Maybe he fell asleep there for a bit. 4:37 a.m. it was for him over there.
Was he staying up or getting up? That's the thing.
Or maybe he woke up halfway through his sleep.
Yeah, maybe he hit the snooze button and oh shit.
Oh,
they're still going.
Oh.
Did I leave my phone on? I'm still here.
Armgod says that yes, they can. Had word this morning that is probably about the whether or not they can pull on Armgods or not.
Oh, yes, they can. So they can pull. So Engen has said it's okay. So so Armgods, good graces, you're all good to go. So you're getting your talent released. Neil wants to sit down with me next week. so just wants to sort it all out. Just wants to put it all to bed. Just wants to put all of this behind us and move on. He's gonna put down the. He's going to put down the puppet. I don't know what the strings. He's going to put down the strings.
Maybe.
What's the little bit at the top of the strings called?
Yeah, I don't know, but that's the handle. But
the handle is
the puppet master holds it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's going to put it all down for long enough to sit down and have a nice dirty chai latte with you, perhaps, and just sort all of this out like gentlemen. I like that. That's nice. Josh would like that. He wants to see reconciliation sport. Everybody come together.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. 8 Ball says, the Drew, I was a fan for many years and I didn't have plans to train or actually try arm wrestling. Benji Mac kind of helped me get out into the world of arm wrestling. I was the internet arm wrestling expert actually doing it. There you go. Not an expert swimmer who has never been in the pool. You have jumped on the table, had to go and won your first super match. Well done to you. I'm still weak though, having loads of fun. That's the whole point. As long as you get on and have a good time, and that's the goal. For anybody who walks into our training sessions, you're welcome here, and you're going to have a great time. And you're going to put the boy into the. Well, you're getting attacked by the headphones. That's right. But yeah, so anybody that can have fun in arm wrestling, I'd rather them come in to the room, the training room, and enjoy themselves, have a good time, and then walk away saying that was fun, regardless as to whether or not they want to continue in arm wrestling or not. But if they had a good time, they're more than likely to talk about who goes the bus as the run past. They're more than likely to tell other people about, that, hey, I went to arm wrestling. Oh, this was good fun. They're nice people, and it was enjoyable. But hey, maybe it's not for you. So, but there you go. And Paul Maiden says, Matt, have you done the gay clubs? I heard a lot of them like holding men's hands. There you go. I used to do promotional work for alcohol companies, and they would send you to lots of different nightclubs. And one of them was a gay nightclub. And we sold a lot of it was Midori Illusion we were selling back then. But yes, there you go. They're into the men's holding hands. 8 Ball. I live and breathe arm wrestling. Have done for a while. I think about it all day. I dream about OT. Watch reruns of lots of pulling. Totally absorbed. Absolutely fantastic. 8 Ball, that you have been able to find something that you really enjoy and really love doing. And I think that's the majority of people that are in the chat right now are all big arm wrestling fans. And it's fantastic to be able to get a platform where we can all sort of get together and talk about something we both love. And it is one of those incredible things where there's so many different levels to this sport and interesting moments and nuances and characters and storylines and things that are happening. And every single person around the world can enjoy arm wrestling, and you can have a go at it as long as you just jump on and have, you don't have to be super strong. You don't have to be a power lifter or coming from some sort of combat sports background. It's anybody of any age can just jump on a table, and you can show them how to do it properly, and they can enjoy themselves and have fun. And that's sort of the pinnacle of what I find the best thing about the sport. We've got a special guest has arrived on the show. It is the Bunsters Shit the Bed hot sauce, the 12 out of 10 rated, incredibly hot sauce that I can't stand at all. And Dave has had on some steak, but we are very thankful to Bunsters. We've also got another special guest appearing on the show. Here it is, the Barbell air dried biltong, and they are the point of difference for them is they are dried not in an oven but air dried. As you can see, they're air dried steak. Hey, oh yeah, the code words. That's right. So yeah, so it's still arm wrestle. Is that correct for our? We'll get Dave back on here. Yeah. I think it's still arm wrestle is the code word to get your discount there, but Dave will fill us in on that. Ryan's growth to Engen could be a threat to his thong. His thong.
What was this?
His thong is the best comment you've ever written, A-Ball. He's corrected himself below, but I'm not gonna show that. Ryan's growth to Engen could be a threat to his thong.
His thing and his thong. Because Ryan is an excellent man for going places. Yeah, well, who knows? Who knows, really? It's who knows what makes full-grown men angry and upset? It could be something from his childhood, just still lingering with him all these years later. Whenever somebody says something he doesn't quite like, he's
Nike said it
a bit fired up.
Nike said it the best. Let's be honest, just do it. Okay.
Yeah. No,
has Dave gone for a wank?
No. But I did touch my little willy when I did do wee-wees whilst I was out. So
thank you for sharing that.
So it was quick. So I wouldn't count it as a wank, but
okay.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. All right. God says, I can't see anything Fox is posting. It's probably that he's on a different channel there, Paul. So you might be watching on...
And he's blocked you. That's the other.
We are streaming on 5 different channels at once. That's why I bring up every comment here so that you can see everyone's comments, and nobody will miss out. If you are on a channel where there's only a few people, there might be the majority of people on another channel, but your comment will be brought up here. Professional hand-holding league, says the world's strangest man.
What we're working on.
That's right. Surprised you didn't send me some of that awesome barbell food.
Ooh.
Well, maybe
I think we ate it all. We actually had about $300 worth just sitting in the corner of the studio, and mysteriously it disappeared. So that's why you might have got some in your little parcel there, mate. But I don't know if barbell foods are available in the United States yet. I'm not sure.
I'm not
sure if you're allowed to send food stuff overseas, can you?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't know what the customs rules are around this, but anyway, we'll have a chat to our friends at Barbell Foods and see what we can do about getting something over to you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And Paul Maiden says that Dave's under the table and Matt's smiling and laughing and looking. I'm always smiling, laughing, and looking, Paul.
I'm always under the table.
Yeah, so it's a Michael Todd thing. Hey, Paul, it's beautiful. It's dramatic, enthralling, thrilling, amazing, breathtaking art, and above all else, the most fun you can have with your fur still on. There you go. Absolutely. It is a fantastic sport. And yeah.
I'm just talking about arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good to have context.
Exactly. What have we got here? Oh, we've got Barbell Foods, and the Drews helped us out here
Barbell
with the code
Foods,
arm wrestle 10% off. Go.
Good stuff. And thank you very much, the Drew.
We've got the thong. There we go. Engen's thong. Yeah, it's very nice. Well done.
That's going to be somebody's account next week. Engen's thong. Engen's thong, just leaving shitty comments for Engen getting deleted. Why does Engen do that? Why does Engen delete those comments? And who else deletes their own comment? Who else deletes the comments that they don't like on their posts? Who does that? What type of person does that? Does Paul Maiden do that? I don't think Paul Maiden does that.
I don't know.
I haven't seen Paul Maiden do that.
No, absolutely. Paul Maiden, he's on the other simulcast here. Share Matt Connelly's channel here. Thank you very much, Drew. And
Is Paul live right now as well?
Maybe he's on the other simulcast here. He's put a link there.
He's put a link. So is Paul live just joining in on our chat? Is that what's going on?
I don't think so.
He's a very organised man, isn't he?
He's very talented.
He's running the whole Arm Gods empire there, as well as doing a podcast, jumping in people's chats. Never have anything more than 3 strikes.
3 shakes.
3 shakes. Oh, yes. I've got you.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, I think I kept within the framework there.
It was a tight line, but you stayed on it. It's like Angus Slong.
Love you, Maiden.
Kyle D, laugh out loud, likes that comment there. Swisher Sweet, he's made an appearance here. Hello to you.
Swisher Sweet is in the house.
Evening, gents. How's taking over the arm wrestling world going?
Slowly.
It's going well. We're having a great time.
Yep.
And it's great to see you in here. I believe Swisher Sweet is coming along to AWE 3.
Is he really?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. So people get autographs? Will he be getting? Can fans take photos?
I think so. Yeah, you'd have to check with him. He might charge though to get a photo, but that's up to him. But it is worth it because he is quite the rare celebrity to be seen.
Indeed. Yeah.
If you are coming down, confirm that for us, Swisher Sweet, and we'd love to see you enter one of either the tournament or the last man standing event.
We would love to see that. So, of course, we've got the tournament at AWE 3. That's happening in the morning, and the winner or the winners of that, I guess the finalist is a better way of putting it. The finalists will find their way onto the main AWE 3 card, and of course we'll have that main card, which you'll be able to tune into the pay-per-view on awearmwrestling.com, and then we've got last man standing. So so there's 2 opportunities for just Joes off the street to walk up, pay their fee, get on the table and walk away with some terrific prizes, which I think we're going to use the podcast next week to announce.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. And
next week's going to be a big week of announcements.
I love Last Man Standing. I just think it's absolutely fantastic.
Let's just do that next time.
just nothing else. Yeah. It is phenomenal.
Oh, no live. He's okay, good.
He's
excellent.
Not live.
Okay.
He wouldn't dare.
Because we just drop off if that's the case.
We drop off.
Just drop off.
And all of our viewers would disappear. And go to his channel.
Yes.
The Drews is, hey Paul, go to that channel to see Paul Maiden's channel. Absolutely. Oh, I did. I'm sorry, I clicked on a comment. I didn't answer the question here from Swisher Sweet, who says, did you see the video of Engen training Auden? Maybe he's preparing for Hamza. Maybe, but I haven't seen that video. No, but
I think that's from a week or so ago. A week or two ago, maybe. I don't know.
We did reach out to Auden for a match against our AWE junior champion.
Auden's the Canadian champ.
Yes.
Junior champion.
Yes.
We thought that'd be great. Let's get Auden because they're also like almost a similar size. It's very similar frame and stature. Auden versus Hamza, 2 genuine juniors, Canadian champion, number 1 in Australia. What can we do? And we were just told. We were actually, well, I don't know if we'll say what we were actually told.
We'll say that it may be a potential match in the future.
Okay.
But yes, it wasn't.
Let's leave the door.
There was no negativity, but
there was no negativity. It was just their planets were in alignment. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got April Iron Maiden. Is somebody in here? Iron Maiden. No, Iron Maiden, you're lovely, mate, on both channels. Oh, Paul Maiden, of course, one of my thinking. He's on both channels, was waiting on my 9 phones charge. Okay. 2 places at once spammed. There you go. Yes, thank you for that. And we do appreciate everybody who is putting up links and helping out the arm wrestling world and people who are putting out content and trying to get people interested in the sport of arm wrestling. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been a crazy sort of journey for us. We've started this organization 9 months ago, and it's doing big things. We put on 2 fantastic events. We've lined up a 3rd event that we've got some superstars from the Indian world that will be coming over to compete against our top guys here in Australia. We've got tournaments happening. We've got last man standing events happening. And this has all been fairly rapid in terms of our growth, in terms of being able to get involved in a sport. And then because we are enjoying it so much, because we love the sport so much, and we wanted to provide opportunities. And it's like, well, let's do a podcast. Let's do content. Let's make videos. Let's talk to Ryan Bowen. Let's talk to this guy. Let's see if we can get something happening. Let's put on an event. And it's all sort of progressed to the point where we're at now, where we've got, these fantastic arm wrestling fans that are here listening and joining us to talk about this fantastic sport. It was funny because we did have our daily, well, we still do have our daily combat podcast as well, where we were talking to many different athletes from all sorts of different areas, but the conversation, we kept always turning it back to arm wrestling no matter what. And it was like, we might as well just start our own arm wrestling one. We can't help but talk about it every single episode. So we've added this as well. And then luckily for us, we started the promotion at the same time, and now we're able to brand it with the AWE, and it's all sort of really risen and getting to the point now where it's like, well, maybe we're looking at doing these major events and progressing to the point where we can give athletes around the world a platform to really make themselves a professional arm wrestling athlete.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yep, that's the mission.
Absolutely. And Swisher Sweet says, yes, I'll come. My wife owes me. I just looked after the kids while she went overseas. I thought it was for an afternoon. When she went overseas, so I think a boy's trip to Adelaide is the least she could do.
Indeed.
All right. And you'll be on stream the whole time if you're there, so she'll know that that's what you're doing.
Yes, even better. She can keep an eye on you.
That's right. You can say, look, you can see me on YouTube. There we go. Travis, you outclass the bum says, do you think organization will be able to do trade athletes?
Well, if every organization signs up their athletes, that does make some sense. So we're kind of then returning to a model where outside of more like basketball, let's say, or football, then say promotions like UFC. So UFC, everybody signed to that promotion, whereas say the NBL, the athletes are signed to the teams.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so I think either way, East versus West might be say like they have their promotion, that's their team, they've got their athletes. Would they transfer for an athlete in another promotion, or maybe? I mean, it's all commercial interest at play. Maybe an athlete's with Engen and Engen's yelled at them, say, just for filming something, just say out of the blue.
Couldn't imagine it.
It's just say something like that happens, and Engen just goes spare, just off his nut because somebody whipped out an iPhone and started filming something like to help the promotion. Let's just say even it was that
could happen. Yeah,
and
I can picture it.
Yeah, just say something like that happened, and said athlete says, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore, and the promoter says, I don't want you here either. And then AWE comes along and says, hey, athlete, would you like to would you like to join us? And the athlete says yes. And we say, hey,
too bad, get out.
Hey, promoter, I'll tell you what, you could have one of our guys and we'll swap that and we'll give you X amount of money, or give us X, if it's Ryan Bowen, give us the money, for instance. But yeah, and then so it could happen. Who knows? But it would probably mean that everybody's got to sign up the talent. So it means all the athletes are stitched up somewhere along the line.
Well, a table like you, Peter Wleschenko has jumped in here. Gary Krasinski match when? I don't know who that is. Sorry. Oh, is he? No, it's not. Well, I was thinking maybe it was one of the guys that competed on the weekend, but and maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know who it is. Sorry about that, Peter.
Hard. It's training hard. It's getting ready.
That's it. Time F in the chat to get Matt and Dave to have a little pull right now.
Hey.
Well, I don't think Dave's sleeve would be able to handle the pressure. He's hanging on for dear life. That's And who else have we got here? Swisher Sweet says the Orton match would be huge for Harmset, but I think he needs to protect his brand. I think that's more than likely the case. But,
You think Hamson needs to protect his brand?
I think it's the other way around.
It might be. It might be some. Yeah, it's not good. Well, with the great name comes great expectations and positioning, and he's got great mentor and coach and somebody to guide him through that. Very fortunately for Auden, so yeah, I would imagine they'd be selecting his matchups very, very carefully in order to make the most of his big commercial matchup. I would imagine so that you would hope that would be a terrific payday for Auden, whatever that matchup might be.
Absolutely, good point. Can we organise a cardboard cutout of me? When I want to dip out of the stream and get up on to mischief? Oh well, you've already planned it out, have you? Swisher Sweet. Well, we knew what you looked like. You'd have a cardboard cut out because right now we'd probably only put Kramer or somebody in your place. One of my friends stole a Kramer cardboard cutout once.
Wow.
And it was his most prized possession.
Yeah.
I used to put it in the bathroom, and then his mum would scream whenever she'd go in there. Table IQ says he came first left and right in the under 80 kilos in New South Wales and Queensland State. Well, there you go. I thought he might have been somebody that had pulled on the weekend.
Well done.
I didn't watch all of the events, but he is obviously a very
Table IQ. Do you have a real name?
It's Peter Waschenko.
Oh, it's Peter. Yes. Yep. Great. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, you've tried your best here, peg to pad, but we are very good at identifying those silly names.
Yes.
Somebody gets me to say one of them accidentally, they will win a t-shirt. Yes. April says the shirt's too nice. Not even a curry stain. Not even a curry stain down at your shirt there, Dave.
Oh, you know what? I was meant to have Indian for lunch as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no. Had a steak instead. Went somewhere else. Yeah.
Is that in honor of the AWE versus India card?
Well, I'm hoping we're going to have some food vans down there. So we're going to have Indian dancers. It's going to have a real Indian flavor. We got some, the venue is tremendous. It's a huge old flour mill that they've converted into this amazing event space. So we've got a huge area available to us. And so there'll be a whole range of festivities going on there. Food trucks. It's going to have a real festive feel. We've got the Indian dancers down there. Lot great sound. Everything is going to be fantastic. Everything will be fantastic.
Yeah. You said food trucks a few times. Are you hungry at the moment?
I'm very hungry.
They got food trucks. There's some other things. There's food trucks. But the most important thing,
curry food trucks.
That's right. Swisher Sweet says, how ridiculous was Engen's accusation about Ryan filming? Did he think Ryan was going to sneakily upload it and expect Engen not to notice? Nonsensical.
Yeah, some might say nonsensical. Some might say, ridiculous. Others might use other words. Or Maiden would say, you'll pick up.
It's a couple of hours past your bedtime, but you're here with us. You're enjoying yourself. You're having a good time, Drew, and we are having a good time too. We're going almost 3 hours now because we're enjoying everyone who's jumping in the chat here.
Indeed.
And Swisher Sweet says, dude, I have a fishing channel where I appear on camera. No mystery. Well, put the link in here and we can have a look at it because I haven't looked up fishing because I'm not. Have you ever? I've actually never been fishing ever. Have you? Are you? No.
Don't like fish.
No. But if you put the link here, we'll put it up here for you, Swisher Sweet,
Fish
and everyone can have a look at what you like.
Fish is for Good Friday and when you can't get steak.
Have we talked about the Lachlan Adair versus Derek Smith?
Yeah, we're not talking about it.
Not at this point. We haven't yet.
We're very tight-lipped on it, Dominic.
Yeah.
We're not no. We're not talking about it.
Not as of just yet, but actually,
we could talk about it, but we're not going to talk about it. I don't know if now's the time. But there'll be more news. I think next week's going to be one of those amazing weeks for announcements. So I would suggest to anybody that's in the chat right now or who's been following the page or anybody who's just happens to be sitting through this, say in 2 days' time, and gets to this point in the podcast, then this is for you. Next Thursday, tune in. Announcements, lots of announcements. Website announcement, big website announcement, pay-per-view announcement, ticket sales announcements.
food truck.
Derek Smith, Lachlan Adair. Food trucks.
Food trucks.
Yeah.
What sort of food trucks going to be
Indian ones. Curry.
That's great. 8ball says, how ridiculous was Engen on the fix after a very supportive super chat to lurk in the chat and then hop in just to bash the said super chat? I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Which
what kind of person would do that?
I don't know.
I don't know, it's a bit weird. Maybe the same type of person that just deletes comments and goes off at people for doing their job at events, or just, who knows? Very volatile personalities. They say the geniuses are like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
They pick green, apparently, as well. You can sleep when you're dead, says Peg to Pad about the Drew.
Yes.
The Drew has put up a link for Swisher Sweet's channel, and he's done it before. Swisher Sweet even got a chance to do it.
Well done.
He's on fire. The Drew knows everything about everybody. He's actually AI. Fishing like on a boat or lakes. I do a little bit of fishing. Oh, we're talking about fishing now.
Oh, we're into fishing. Okay, we'll leave you to it.
I've definitely had Engen scold me for a compliment before.
Well, you got to be careful with those kind words. You don't want them to be misinterpreted as, I don't know, anything else.
That's right.
Yeah. So it takes an interesting person.
So yeah, that's right.
And volatile, strange personalities. Have you come across somebody like that in your workplace or ever before?
Yes. One of the guys I used to work with at when I was doing security at one of the local shopping centers here. He was the night guard who would come in at midnight every night, and every single night he would come in furious about something.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what you had done throughout your shift, whether locking up or whatever, there was something he was angry about. And I remember handing him the phone, the work phone. Here's the work phone. He's grabbed it and he's just launched it. Threw it across and it smashed into pieces. You know why? It wasn't 100% charged.
So it's your fault. It's your fault.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. And he used to get really angry that people would put the shopping trolleys in the fire exits.
Yeah.
and so he would have, because he'd have to push them out every night. And then there was a video of him with like 30 trolleys backed up, and he's gone and he's run and pushed them all off like a cliff. And they had to talk to him like, what are you doing with these? He's like, I've told him not to leave him there.
So I think we've all come across somebody, an Engen or a person like that in our lives. A bit angry. Let's hope they find peace in their world for their own sake.
Yeah, he was
a little bit of
ludicrous.
A little bit of anger is a bit of a cancer inside. You can't hold too closely to it. Let it go. Let it go in perfect ways.
Exactly. Yeah. What about you? Have you had somebody like that?
Oh, yeah. There's a very similar personality type I've come across, and a former business partner. So very cantankerous kind of character, very, very touchy. If you asked him a question about, and you didn't know what question that might be either. So it could be a question. So how's the accounts going? What do you mean? What are you asking about that for? And it's just because accounts, like, how's it going? It'd be, how you going with how you going with that particular project? What do you care? What's the so, well, because just chatting, about business, just making money. I don't know.
Sounds a very insecure sort of person.
Very, 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 very strange person. Didn't want you seeing. Didn't want you seeing behind the curtain. A little bit upset. And everything that went wrong was always somebody else's fault. Of course, yeah. Always somebody to yell at. Always somebody to be upset about. Always a young girl to make cry, or somebody to bully. Oh, really? Yeah, one of those.
Sounds like a dick.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Didn't stay in business for long. Which was fortunate in the end. He was a very bad man. So So we all come across people like that, and of course, it's just best to, you confront those people in the most perfect ways whenever you need to, and if you can avoid being in contact with them, well, you just go on your happy way and hope that that you're doing the right things in life.
There you go.
Yeah.
8ball. I swear down, I got banned for asking an athlete's weight. How dare you ask something outrageous like that?
Yep. Very, very touchy subject for a lot of athletes.
That's right.
Very, very touchy. Ask him if he's if you really want to upset, ask him if he's going to be introducing testing to East versus West. Just so them know Sergey's asking.
Just like they do in WAF.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just like they do in WAF.
Yeah, Swisher Sweet says AW3 event is on a river by the looks of it.
It is on a river. This will be on a flotation device. So a very, very interesting setup. So good observation.
Surrounded by a moat filled with crocodiles.
Yes, and dolphins.
Yeah, dolphins. Yeah, they're escaping the crocodiles.
Yeah.
They're quite good at it, which is great. I hope it doesn't take attention away from the arm wrestling.
No, it won't be a distraction at all. I think this is really what arm wrestling's been waiting for. More marine life, more marine life. So it's next to the river. It's right next to the river. So it's not actually in the river, but it's in the Harts Mill, and the Harts Mill is right on the river front there, and it's a great precinct. It's a beautiful old mill that's been brought back to life as an event space. So I think we've got capacity for about 1,000 people there, which is going to be absolutely amazing. So that's There's only about 3 of the Indian families that are coming.
And the food trucks.
And the food trucks just for that family.
Taryn Broad has chimed in. He says that anybody who doesn't buy the $150 USD Devon figurine is an enemy of the sport.
Well, I bought 3 of them.
Did you?
No.
Oh. YouTube, he's Ultralight. I'm not sure whose channel that is, but it could be the fishing channel.
Oh, that could be it if that's it. Jump on that one, guys. I don't know. It's come and gone pretty quick, but yeah.
And how did Lass feel about his efforts in Queensland? He did okay, I thought. I was surprised to see him there. I think all of us were. We had loaded up the stream.
And there he was.
And it was like, hang on a minute, there's Lass. What's he doing up there? He
Wait, what?
Didn't tell anybody he was going up there. And all of a sudden, he's walked onto the screen, and it's like, what? I think he did really well. He won majority of his matches. He got beaten by some of the top guys in the sport, but he did have some fantastic wins as well against some of the upper echelon in the I think he's in the under 95s division is what he entered, but he did very, very well. And I think he was a little frustrated with the way the last match ended, which I didn't see. I'd sort of gone to get something to eat or something. But he lost by fouls, and it was a third referee that made that call.
Yeah.
And he wasn't too happy with that. But I didn't see that match. But overall, he did very, very well.
Yeah. Any testing at the Queensland states, and be very interesting to know, because we do know at the Nationals there was some testing, and there was talk about testing at state levels as well. So very, very interesting just to know about that. But Laz is a real arm wrestler, isn't he? You know, he's a real student of the sport, and he's got a tremendous history in the sport as well, and certainly is still a great athlete. So and I don't think we've seen the best of Laz Bolter yet.
The absolute best matches I've ever seen in arm wrestling across the world, across all the history of arm wrestling, Lass is in the majority of them.
He's featured in it. Yeah. Well, he was the winner of the Last Man Standing event, the very first one that we did. So it'll be interesting to see how Lass goes at this one.
Absolutely. Him and Matt Vanocchi, Sledge Vanocchi, had some incredible back and forth battles. So I was watching one of those yesterday. I was like, I've got to post this up again because everyone would love to see this.
Yeah.
Where are we here? I think I've jumped too far forwards here. I'll just find up where we're up to. It's Kratos, says Jaden Keogh. It is indeed. He's taken off he put down the battle axe and he's walked in with a suit and tie. He's still he's taken up a different career these days.
Yes.
But he's still just as strong as ever, looking fresh. That's right. Sleeves are just hanging on. How big are your arms? Have you measured your arms recently, Dave?
I haven't measured them recently, but I do know I'm getting bigger. I've been training with my son most mornings. He's been pushing me, and so I feel like I'm putting on a little bit of size for the first time in a long time. So shirt's getting a little bit tighter across the shoulders, but I'm also getting a little bit fatter. Just balancing all out, so that's good.
Well, yeah, so mine
proportionally,
is between 17 and 18. It was the last time I measured a while ago. And yours are bigger than mine, so you'd probably say.
I think let's say it's 13 and a half. Tony Danza was always very proud of his 16-inch arms.
Was he?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Well,
it's a benchmark.
yeah.
Something. Inches, centimeters. Yeah, I think at my biggest, I was 21 inches. Back in the day, when I
really?
was a young man. You know, that
Jesus.
photo of me doing that. Yeah,
21.
yeah.
I was
on
always
on a pump. But, you know,
I was always
and,
trying to
and
hit
maybe
that
a
20
loose
mark.
measuring
Yeah,
tape.
that's it. No, I was always trying to hit that 20 mark. The closest I got was 19.7, and I was 120 kilos.
There we go. Actually, I want to see the vein.
There's a vein. Yeah. There we go. Is it on the river? Not in the river. Is on the river a Victorianism or something?
Is it on the river? It's on the river.
It's on the river bank.
Oh, it's on the river. Yeah, it's on the river. So it's not in the river.
No, it's not in the river.
Yes.
We won't be arm
A
wrestling in a river.
Victorianism or something. Oh, hey? I've lost it. Yeah. No. We're not Victorian.
Food truck.
Food truck.
Microwave.
Hmm.
No, he's asking whether that saying on the river is a Victorian saying or something. We are based in South Australia. So
No. I mean, if you could be beside the river or on the river,
but we're not doing the event in the river.
No, that's one thing we can confirm. We can confirm that for arm wrestling fans, this will not be an aqua event.
That's right. I'd love to see that though.
Do you think burning AWE t-shirts on the EW stream? Guess what? Let's try it next week. We got a couple lying around here, so we'll give that a go.
What have we got here? Jan Kioff, my arms are teeny, just underestimate me. I prefer it. It's a challenge being thrown out there.
Taryn Broad, how big are Taryn Broads? Oh, 20
with a pump at around 87 kilos.
Wow.
I think he's leaned up a bit lately, Taryn Broad. I think he's back to low 80s at the moment. But yeah, I think he's
he got close to 20 inches when he was 87.
Yeah. So I think he's leaned up a fair bit at the moment.
Yeah.
But, should we look at that, wrapping this up? I think we've just gotten over the 3-hour mark.
We've just clicked over the 3-hour mark, and that's all in commemoration of AWE 3. We were doing each an hour for
stalling
for every event. So AWE 3, Hollywood Matt Connelly, that's 22nd of October. That's a Sunday here in Australia. And of course, it might be different depending on where you are around the world. It kicks off at 9 a.m. So if you do want to buy in-person tickets, the tournament kicks off at 9 a.m. So you can pre-register, which you'll be able to do via the website. And of course, you can do so on site, but you'll need to be there at about 8:30, no later than 8:30 in the morning on that Saturday in order to register. There'll be a small fee attached. All of that will be coming up very, very soon, and you'll be able to register and be part of that tournament. And of course, the prize will be, or for being a finalist, will be a spot on the highly coveted AWE 3 card for the pay-per-view event. And of course, we'll have that full pay-per-view event, all 10 matches, which we're billing as Australia versus India. But of course, we've got South Africans, we've got Latvians, we got Tahitians, we've got New Zealanders. So it's a real international event. But we've got 3 of the best coming over from India. And of course, the main event of those 3 matchups is Mazahir Saidu. Is the king of India, and he is your pro punja heavyweight champion, and he will be taking on the delusional Ryan Blue Bowen. So amongst other matchups, of course, which you can check out the posters as they drop this week and find out who your favorite arm wrestler is up against at AWE 3. And then, of course, it all culminates after the pay-per-view event with the post-event stream. And the last man standing. So
absolutely.
Last man standing, anybody can enter. So if you've entered the tournament, you can enter last man standing. If you've competed in the supercard event, you can jump on the tables and still enjoy last man standing as well. Or if you're just a member of the public and you've just turned up and you thought, you know what, I'm going to give this thing called arm wrestling a go. Well, grab yourself a spot in line. Last man standing is for you. So we will have those 3 events. There's an arm wrestling festival taking place on the 22nd of September. All the details will soon be released on our brand spanking new website. awearmwrestling.com, which will be launching very, very soon. So stay tuned for all of those announcements and more on next week's AWE podcast. But for now, Hollywood Matt Connelly, any final thoughts?
Just going to hit the double biceps to
Bang,
finish
bang,
things
bang,
off.
Bang, bang, bang. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for hanging in there. That's 3 hours and 6 minutes of the AWE podcast, sledging, Engen, and more. And for even more of that next week and announcements galore. Stay tuned. We'll see you then.
Thanks, everybody.